Hello everyone, welcome back to the Deep Blue. I'm not over there because I am over on this side over here. Hello, welcome back to the Deep Blue everyone. Hi, I'm Noira, the sea fox oneesan who serves live talks on the rocks, and it's good to be back here at the Deep Blue. How are all of you guys doing? I am actually still sick, so I apologize if I cough somewhere along the way. I am still sick, but I think it's not too bad. I was thinking of popping an ibuprofen before stream, but I think I can manage. But you can hear like my voice sounds a little bit weird, so I'm sorry about that. But in spite of that, let me actually greet you guys here. All of you beautiful titlings who are waiting just outside so patiently for this sea fox of yours. Let's see, who was actually the first? I see that the first is actually Sven. I accidentally put up the wrong title and the wrong notification on Twitch side. I'm sorry about that, but I hope you guys got notified anyway. But yeah, Sven, congratulations on being the first. You've been the first for like quite a bit. Impressive, Sven. Followed up by Jason over on Twitch side, and Ikazen being the third, Kyle being the fourth, and Tyrandos being the fifth. Sorry, I'm using like hand cream. My hands are like really dry. And Discount Chatter as well, of course. I see you, and Zoe, and also Jarrison on YouTube side, Ghost of Mint, and Zurin, and who else do I see here? Magic Attacks, and Cashew Nuts, Wapper. Oh damn. Nobody on YouTube side. Is that you, Nix? Nix, who was on TikTok the other day. Nor as well, thank you for the look. And Ridgeway. And also Bars and Ear Trumpet, of course. Ear Trumpet, thank you so much for your contribution towards the Deep Blue. It means a lot. And yeah, I hope I get better too. You can hear my voice is a little bit, I don't know, what will you call it? Sensual? I don't think sensual. I don't think sensual is the right word. But you know what I mean? There's a little bit of a vocal fry whatsoever to my voice. Hold on, I need to cough. Bloody hells. Hold up. I'll at least try to mute when I cough, okay? Ghost of Mint is here. Kev Mint as well. And I also see... did I miss anyone? Let me see. Spades is here. Did I miss anyone? John Joku. And... No, I don't think... is that everyone? Bondrude? I'm looking here. I'm trying to make sure I don't miss anyone, okay? I'm trying to make sure. Let me see. Tricks as well. And yeah, I think that's everyone. Welcome back to the Deep Blue, everyone. Welcome back. And also, Super Chat the Arigato. Thank you for your offering towards the shrine. Hold on, I need to move a little bit off. Whoops, I have two streams going on once again, so it's kind of confusing. And the thing is, like, it requires me managing two screens, so let me just adjust a little bit. There we go. Yeah, okay, I was centering my screen. Thank you, Super Chat Arigato. Thank you for your offering towards the shrine. Ear Trumpet, my blessing to you is, let's see, my blessing to you is, I hope that our dear Night's Watch doesn't have to fight any White Walkers. And I hope that if you track your sleep quality, I hope that for tonight, or at least the next night, your sleep quality will be like something around 98. That is my blessing to you, Ear Trumpet. And thank you so much for your generosity towards Deep Blue. Do I sound different, guys? I mean, I feel like I sound different, but I don't know if you guys can tell. And also, updates. I changed the layout for our vertical streams here at the Deep Blue. So I changed it. I made a non-lazy layout, and it looks nice. So if you haven't, once again, I have like two streams going on YouTube side. There's a horizontal stream and there's also a vertical stream. And of course, I'm also streaming on TikTok. And I really like this new layout. I think it looks really nice. Do I not sound different? That's interesting. Interesting that I don't sound different. Oh, let me change a setting here over on... Okay. I was changing a setting over on my phone. Just a bit. If I didn't know, I would think I'm crazy. I don't sound sick. At least I don't sound sick. You sound a bit rough. I hope it's not hurting. If it hurts or if it gets too bad, as per usual, I'll just end stream early, right? But yeah, I'll try not to strain my voice. I have water, and maybe I'll try to hydrate a little bit more often today. But welcome back to the Deep Blue, everyone. How are you guys? I'll try to mute the mic when I cough, okay? So it doesn't become a coughing fit ASMR. Oi, oi, Huey, bloody hell, this coughing's got me shit crazy. Food is a bloody awful as well. I do not sound like, do you think I'm Butcher or something, Iggerson? Do you think I'm Butcher? Diabolical. Damn, I can hear it in my own voice, hold on. If you hear me mute myself, that's me coughing, okay? Noira is giving off cozy grandma vibes. Cozy grandma vibes are the vibes of someone who just smokes too many cigarettes, like a few packs too many, right? There's a slight overlap over there, I reckon. Thank you for the luck, Nuxaretmat. Have you seen the series finale of The Boys yet? I have not. Wait. Isn't the finale coming out in the theaters or something, or am I mistaken? So the one I watched, I don't think it was the finale, because it felt like, you know, the loops weren't closed up. So there's like, I'm still waiting for some stuff to happen with The Boys. But yeah, I have been watching The Boys, especially because I've been sick, right? Last week, and now I'm sick again. But today, since yesterday I was sick, but like, it's not that bad. It's not as bad as, ooh, I sound different now. It's not as bad as like my previous sickness, which was mostly like me having to stay in bed because I was just too dead to do anything. Like, at least right now, I can still work. I went to the office. I used a mask. I went to the office, and as long as I pop some ibuprofen, it's okay. Like, the fever goes away and I can work. And right now I have ibuprofen, but like, I'm not using it because I was trying to see how it's gonna go. And so far I think it's okay. I mean, if I get feverish, maybe I'll get an ibuprofen. If not, I'm gonna try to see how far I can go without relying on medicine. But yeah, shout out to ibuprofen for solving like headaches, period cramps, and like a bunch of other feverish shit that sometimes happen randomly. So shout out to ibuprofen. It's the one medicine that I always keep at hand, just because of like how flexible it is, adaptable it is, and how useful it is for daily stuff. Seems to be going around lately. Get well soon. You reckon it's the weather? Hold on, let me see what did you guys chat? Are you guys just role-playing Butcher right now? The only time I can hear a difference in Noira's voice is when she's tired, and then that tired voice, like soft voice. Can you guys actually tell when I'm tired? I see you switched over to TikTok side next. Oi Tidling, Homelander went and blew up the Deep Blue. Womp womp. Do I sound like a Butcher? Oi Tidling, Homelander went and blew up the Deep Blue. Womp womp. Bro, even my laugh sounds different. What is that hella airy laugh? I don't even know what that was. It sounds like a laugh without substance. Scottish seafood. That wasn't Scottish though. That was so far removed from Scottish. Also, like, Butcher's accent is very weird as well. It's like a combination between New Zealand and British, I think. It's a very weird accent. I don't think anyone actually talks like that in real life. Drink more alcohol. Clearly, it will kill whatever is making you sick. That's totally how it works. I used to assume that's how it works. Apparently not. According to further research, it's bad. Like, it'll just inflame your throat further. But I guess during those days where I believed that alcohol would solve all my throat problems, like if I had a sore throat or if I was like having a nasty cough or like even a fever, I think at that moment, my mind was working harder than the actual alcohol healing my throat or whatever ailments I had. So I think I believed so very strongly that alcohol would sterilize all that shit to the point that maybe it actually did. So maybe it worked for me back then, but now that I know the truth, I don't do that anymore. Ibuprofen is just a painkiller and inflammation. Yeah, but like a lot of stuff can help so much. Like sometimes reducing inflammation can help so much. And of course it's a painkiller, same like paracetamol. But when it comes to fevers and period cramps where, you know, the thing with period cramps is that ibuprofen can immediately target the chemical shit that is causing the period cramps. It also happens with strep throat or like certain ailments. There are certain, I can't remember what it's called. There's a medical term for it that I can't remember. I remembered it when the doctor was talking to me about it because I also researched a little bit about it. But like ibuprofen can target like this certain thing within your body that is basically something the brain secretes to release pain or like something like that. I can't remember. So it's good for suppressing symptoms and calming down inflammation. And if within that period of calm you happen to heal up a little bit better, yeah, ibuprofen can generally help with that. For example, like me right now, I have a cold. I think it's a common cold. I think it is. And I think ibuprofen is helping me stave off the symptoms to the point that, of course, I need to work. So I had to stave off the symptoms for work. Sorry. And I'm actually better now compared to like this morning, because I think a common cold is like one of those things where you just kind of have to power through. I might be wrong. I'm no medical fucking expert, okay? But this is my own personal experience when it comes to these sort of things. Respond to gaming. Thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Deep Blue. Just be careful with ibuprofen. That stuff is like kind on your liver. Yes. So I believe the healthy window to take ibuprofen is like once every 6 hours or something like that. I take it with a meal. So be very careful. Don't like overdose on that shit. Like with every other thing that you take, like even don't overdose on water, man. Don't waterboard yourself. You look like Luna Snow. No, Luna Snow looks like me, mind you. Pure advertisement. No, it's not advertisement. It's just me being honest about my own personal experiences. I carry ibuprofen with me everywhere, but also I feel like that's like an adult thing. Like a lot of adults do that. Like either you bring with you paracetamol or ibuprofen. I'm ibuprofen gang. Thank you for your offering towards the shrine. I take my medical advice from vtubers. Please do not, unless I'm like Shiori, who's actually a doctor and a surgeon, or like Psychen MD, who's actually a doctor. Do not take medical advice from me. This is just like what works for me. Everyone's body is different, so please consult your medical professional. Thank you for the hydrate. I'll drink some water. Hold on. No, unsponsored. I wish I could get sponsored, but I don't know how I feel about getting sponsored for meds. You sound a tad bit low energy, even more oneesan vibe now. Really? What about it sounds more oneesan than usual? Would you like to be drawn as a man? I don't mind being drawn as anything, but like, I don't mind. Like I've mentioned this before. If you guys want to draw me, you can draw me as anything. But like whether I repost it or not is a different story. Because first of all, I personally don't like posting NSFW stuff on my own platforms. So if you draw like NSFW stuff, I might not repost it. Yeah. Or if it's on like particularly my taste, like I might not repost it. But other than that, you're free to draw me as whatever. Draw me as My Little Pony for all I care. I'm an anime girl on the internet who happens to be... Yeah, I'm an anime girl on the internet. So do whatever you want with an anime girl on the internet. I'm that detached. Not detached, but like... I think that's how I feel about me and my VTubing. Not everyone feels that way though. I think some people are a little bit more attached to their VTuber avatar. So always ask for the VTuber's comfort levels when it comes to these things. For me, I'm pretty like chill with anything. Like if you want to put me up on R34, like I already have something there, but like feel free to do so. Alcoholic placebo effect. I believe that alcohol will purify me, therefore it will. Exactly! And that had a strong effect on me. So there was so many times way back when where I wanted to go out to party, and I would always have pre-drinks over at my place, alone. Being the alcoholic that I was, alone, I would pour myself like a bunch of... I would just drink whiskey straight from the bottle, actually. I didn't even pour myself whiskey. No! I was... I was young and reckless and kind of ratchet, so I would drink it straight from the bottle. And yeah, usually after that, I'd feel fine. Once the alcohol kicks in, or once the alcohol quote unquote purifies me, whatever fever or feeling of a rough throat or whatever I had usually is fine. The mind works in miraculous ways. You're clearly on drinking enough alcohol then? Yeah, obviously. I think so, yeah. I think also, like, I mentioned this before, but I haven't been drinking at all as of lately because of my own personal reasons. I have certain health reasons that I don't want to get into detail with, but like I have certain reasons to not drink alcohol. Ever since I got back from a Japan trip, I've been like staving off of alcohol. So I miss whiskey, but oh well, it is what it is. I need to get healthy first before I consider like taking alcohol again, man. Hold on, let me catch up with chat here. I got it in my car desk and every bag I take with me. Hey, twinsies! Ibuprofen buddies! Ibuprofen twinsies! What did I miss in chat? Hold on. Noira be like, I am ready to put on a show. Oh, yeah? Yeah, way back when, during my wilder days. Yeah. Were you tired after last night's stream? Actually, because we overtime, yeah, a bit, but it wasn't too bad. Pocopia was a great time. So I'm very happy that I got to stream last night. I'm just kind of sad that I feel like I didn't get to yap as much as I could because last night, I was getting sick and I didn't do any ibuprofen or anything. So I was just, I think, fighting the fever somewhat a little bit, like low key whilst I was on stream. So I might have sounded a little bit low energy last night, but I had fun. Pocopia is always fun. So yeah. Best image would be Noira being swarmed by adorable cats. I mean, I think anyone being swarmed by adorable cats or a swarm of adorable cats full stop is a great image, right? How about we put up Noira in a bill? Why would you put me up on a billboard? I know a VTuber who has a pinned comment saying not to put her model through AI. Oh yeah, nah. I'm very against AI, okay? When I say treat me like an anime girl on the internet, yes, that, but also do not give me AI art or do not put me through AI. That's just disrespectful to my VTuber mama, the artist who worked hard on my model and everything. So I remember back then, I think someone actually DM'd me, like someone put my model, like made AI art of me, and I'm like, no, man, that's not it. Look, I do not support AI, and my reasons, I think I've repeated it a few times, so some of you guys might remember, but like I would like to support human creativity, and I love the human creative mind. And I think that if I support AI in human creative endeavors such as AI music or AI art, that's like going against that. So that's a personal choice for me. I would like to support human creativity. And it's not as if... The thing is, like, human creativity already does not get enough support. And now they're fighting against AI. So I'd like to at least do my part to support human creativity. So yes, I am against AI creative stuff. I'm pretty cool with AI, like helping as a logical tool or like as basically a quick library that you can kind of help to answer questions or use to further your curiosity. I'm okay with that. But when it comes to creative stuff, I'm just not a fan of it. Yeah. Is that blue or purple eyeshadow? Check my website next if you want to see my full reference. Everything's there. Noira.me. My website, Noira.me. Yeah, I have been sober. Is that crazy? That's kind of crazy, isn't it? I think it's amazing how you can hang out with us after a long day's work. No, I think part of the reason is also, I think you guys are an easy crowd to hang out with. Like, I can literally like talk about anything, and I get to talk about my favorite stuff too, which is mostly like life. And I'm always like a sucker for good conversations over drinks. Maybe not drinks nowadays, but like good conversations, especially surrounding life. So if anything, it's much less of a chore, and it's more like it's a nice hangout. So I appreciate it, guys. Like, without you guys, I'd just be talking to the ether. Like, I'd just be talking to the void, and I wouldn't have a two-way conversation like this. It'd just be me and silence. So thanks to you guys. You guys make the deep blue too, and you guys make the conversations as well. AI art is a bad idea in general. Yeah. I think people generally have their own reasons why they would not want to support AI art or stuff along those lines. They're going to lead the Balurian Jihad. Wait, isn't that Dune? Right? Am I correct? Is that Dune? The only accepted AI art is political. Even with that, I don't particularly like it. It doesn't sit right with me. You know, maybe you're like, oh yeah, AI ought to make fun of people, but like, nah, it doesn't sit right with me. Like, I think this is my preference. If you want to do it, you do you. But like, for me, I try to just support human creativity. And that also includes like parody art. I mean, you know, sometimes with parody art, it's pretty funny to even like just draw stick figures. Or like, look at Flork. Do you guys know who Flork is? Socks agency guy, Flork. Flork like draws simple, okay, they're not stick figures. What are they? Chonk figures? Chonk Muppet figures? Yeah. Flork draws that kind of stuff, and it's great. It's awesome. Like, you don't need fucking AI to make art. All you need is like a little bit of creativity, a little bit of mind, and a little bit of, if you want to make parody, a little bit of unseriousness and silliness, and you can make art. So yeah, I would like to support human creativity. Like, I'm pretty sure everyone can draw in the style of Flork, right? If they wanted to. Hi there, Steph. I have a question. How strong is your PC? Not particularly strong. I don't think so. It's like a 4080. So it's not like anything crazy. Hi there, Rick Jazzy. How are you? Do you miss vaults like the old times? I mean, don't we all? GDL, don't we all? But I think my Ragnarok times are behind me. Noira, recognize the reference? Yeah, Lisan al-Gaib. I still haven't read Dune. I'm still looking forward to reading it. AR art is like people wanting to be artists without putting down the effort of learning a skill. I think it's people just wanting the output without any of the effort. Exactly what you said. But I mean, you can argue about the other side of stuff, like, oh yeah, using fresh water, heating shit, and that's usually using a lot of energy and, you know, processing power and everything like that. But like, for me, I think my main reason is, yeah, it's just the supporting human creativity part. That's how I make sense of why I don't want to support AI entrenching on human creative stuff. However, I am in support of AI helping out as a tool for creativity. Like, if it can help creativity flourish even more, I'm in support of that. For example, the example I always give is, let's say in an animation studio, everyone fucking hates lip syncing the mouth to the audio. If AI can help with that process, make it less tedious, and then the person who is supposed to do the mouth syncing can do something that's more creative, I think I'm in support of that. So I'm in support of AI as a tool in general. And a tool to kind of help with further human flourishing, if you want to put it that way. I don't know, I was a paid photographer for a long time and I saw the AI wave coming. I don't hate AI art, but I prefer it when humans make it. Yeah, and that's okay. I think generalizing hate towards something is kind of bad. Like when I dislike something, I like a proper reason behind it. So my way of rationalizing why I don't like AI art is, yeah, I've kind of done my own reflection on this, sat on it, and I was like, one day I was like, okay, I don't like AI art. Why? So I tried to kind of process how I feel about it, and the conclusion I came to was that, yeah, it kind of compromises human creativity. I must go because I live in the land of Canada and it's 10:30 a.m. Have a good one, Spades, and thank you for dropping by right before work. I hope you have a good day at work, eh? To support AI art because someone on TikTok made inappropriate of one of my oneesamas. I mean, AI art, I think, like I said, everyone can have their own reasons or kind of come up with their own reasons to dislike something. So yeah, figure out why you don't like it, make your own reasons for it, or you know what, if you want to dislike it just because you dislike it, you do you. Imaging AI is a double-edged sword. Not even a sword, a saw. Imaging AI can help VTuber rigging or other features in the future. Imaging AI, I don't know. As I know it, I don't know how VTuber technology is specifically. I did hear that VTuber technology was initially based off of, well, certain parts of VTuber technology was like based off of like certain facial recognitions that was used for weapons or something. I might be wrong. That's just like something I came across on Twitter, so like the truth of that is questionable. Does it need AI to help with VTuber? I mean, AI for VTuber rigging? I mean, I don't know if I wanna. I don't know. Would I want to use a model that has AI rigging? I think if I can instead pay a human and help someone if I can pay a human instead, I think I would, if I have the means to, because I feel like if I can't even pay for rigging or a model, then I probably shouldn't be a VTuber. Because VTubing is like, it's a luxury, you know what I mean? It's like to be able to make a custom-made model of yourself. It's like commissioning Da Vinci way back when to make a painting of you. It's like the same shit. VTubing is exactly that. Like you commission someone to rig you and make art of you according to your own preferences. So of course it's a fucking luxury. So I think if you can't pay for that, then don't be a VTuber, then just stream. It's not as if like to stream or make content, a VTuber is essential, you know? Which is what I always tell to people, say, when people want to start with VTubing, right? Like, forget about the anime girl or anime person part of it, okay? First of all, figure out, do you like making content or not? Do you like streaming? Because if you don't, then what's the point of being a VTuber? Then just have a fucking original character. Just make an OC and play Dungeons and Dragons or something. You know, or roleplay. Get into World of Warcraft, join a roleplay server, and become that character that you want to become. You don't need to become a VTuber. Wait, I need to cough. Hold on. God damn. Hi there, Fikrin. Human-made art have soul. AI-made art have no soul. Also, the AI have to base on someone's artwork, style, information, data collection to generate the art. Yeah. Here's an idea to entertain. What if a legitimate artist is using AI for parts of their work? Would it be as bad since many painters had ghost artists to paint parts of their works? Kind of like how you make you make a manga and then you have manga assistants, right? That sort of thing. How would I think about it? I think my baseline is, if it's a job that humans hate doing, I think it's a good tool to have. If it's a job that humans love doing or can like doing or would enjoy doing, then I think it's better not to. Leave human stuff to humans. Like, for example, there are some logical implementations to AI with AI to certain things. For example, if you use robotics and AI for surgery, which requires like mathematical precision for doing whatever you need to do, I think it makes sense. right? Because with the human body, sometimes you can have jitters or whatsoever. You don't know. There are like certain variables with the human bodies that sometimes can be a little bit unpredictable with something that requires mathematical precision. So using AI and robotics like for that would make sense. But yeah, I think in general, if it's something that humans can love doing, then I think it's better to leave it to humans. Like, why are we trying to take away stuff from humans? Like, why are we trying to take away things that humans love? I mean, shouldn't AI or robotics or whatever technological advances we have instead help with human flourishing and help with generally like assisting humans with having a better life, quality of life, or, you know, a better creative life, all these sort of things, right? Where did you get the idea of a titling? I thought it up. Where did I get an idea of it? I think we had a vote on Reddit. I think we thought of like, oh, what would be a nice fan name for titlings? And then I think I commissioned oneesan, who's like the guy who designed the titlings. And from there, I made a story about the titlings. I worked with a lot of artists and writers in my younger years. AI content just seems like a slap in the face to all the hard work that they put out. Yeah, definitely. For me, I went from photographing concerts to photographing weddings. When I started, all the cameras were DSLR, but still pretty rudimentary. By the time I quit the industry, all the cameras were built entirely on the back of digital programs and mirrorless technology. So it was a major step away from the traditional photography. Ooh, I remember my friends crazing over DSLRs. And then I think, I particularly remember the age of mirrorless cameras and how Fujifilm got kind of crazy for a tad bit, right? Yeah, I remember those. I didn't enjoy it, but I saw it as a candle to the light bulb scenario. It just seems to be the trend of all technology. Yeah, but you see, I think, that's the thing. I think one of the conundrums with AI, or like one of the discussions that's had a lot with it. Why do we always talk about AI every time we have a yapster? It's crazy. We always circle back to AI. Oh my lord. Thank you for the hydrate, old man. Let me drink. Hi there, Ted. Part of the job you hate, like painting backgrounds for your epic paintings or writing another book in a never-ending series. Yeah, that's relative, isn't it? For like when I say that it should be, AI should be helping with the stuff that we don't like doing, but even that is relative. Oh shit, I forgot what I was gonna say. We were so scared about AI taking our jobs, we didn't foresee the problems when AI came for our hobbies. I mean, who would have thought? Like, you'd think like when it comes to AI, it'd be artificial intelligence. So like for mostly intelligent stuff, like processing data, analytics, which is what it's great at, and robotics and everything like that. I don't think anyone would have predicted that AI would kind of go into fucking imaging and video stuff and everything, you know? I don't think anyone could have predicted that. For me, hello Ted Sticks, by the way. For me, in an education setting, AI was groundbreaking. You could learn all sorts of things, and it was an amazing tool for double checking work. Oh, definitely. I mean, I too also use AI a lot for like research, or if I'm curious about something. It's a great starting point for finding references. I especially use it. I basically use it as Google, I guess, as a more enhanced Google. I mean, I still Google some stuff, but I think sometimes AI is just, because it knows how to read your language and your prompts, so it can help you find your sources in a way that's a little bit better than just putting something out on the search bar, you know what I mean? And yeah, I mean, you can ask for all the references, and you can basically also fine tune it along the way. So AI is great for me for finding sources, references, and academic journals or whatsoever. Or like if I'm particularly curious about a certain something, such as what did I recently search up? Wait, I need to cough. I don't remember, but like every once in a while, I think I'm someone who Googles a lot, so you can imagine that because I've kind of replaced Googling with AI, I do use AI quite a lot to look stuff up because I am curious about a lot of things. So if I want to find out about something new, AI is a great starting point. Hello, service patches. Volume, I'm titling and a deepening. What's a deepening? I don't even know what a deepening is next. Generative AI to me will be at its epitome a fancier tool. I don't think good or bad exists as binaries, but in degrees. The use of algorithms or any kind of tools to expedite certain processes, I don't think it's bad inherently. But ultimately, to lean into generative AI is to delegate something to a mathematical average. That is true. Using averages to dictate major design choices and art direction would, proportional to its use, create a painfully average piece. That is very true as well, because what AI does is basically it dives into a large database of works and then just gets what it assumes is the median best of everything, right? Okay, and so that part is, you're right. So I think, I mean, sure, sometimes if we see it at face value, we can see some AI art being much better than human works, right? But really, if you think about it, is that the point of art? Is the point of art like whether it looks better or not? Or it really depends. If you're just using it for, like, I don't know, what do people use AI art for? I don't even know. What, memes? But memes are funnier when they look bad. What do people use AI art for? Because if you use it for, like, say, concept design, I'm pretty sure like a human can make a better design than AI, because, well, AI is like scrapbooking stuff from a bunch of sources, right? Versus humans who can technically take a bunch of references and create something original or relatively more original. So I think use case wise, other than consumer purposes and like for daily meme use or whatsoever, commercial use of AI imaging is still very limited. I don't know how far it'll get later on, but regardless, I feel like, because my stance is I want to support human creativity, no matter how good AI art gets, even if it gets like much or millions times better than humans, or even like AI music, right? If it gets like 1,000,000 times better than humans, I will still proactively attempt to avoid it, just because I would like to support human creativity. Hi there, C10Ds. It's my first time here because the stream schedule always cross my lectures time. But hi, welcome to the Deep Blue. Gen AI didn't create slop content. Slop content has already existed prior. Gen AI streamlined it. Slop content. Now with this slop content, what do you mean? Damn, can we move away from AI talks? Why? How do I avoid AI talks? Why is it always AI talks? God damn. Let's let's move on to live talk, something else. You know, there was like a joke that was like some titlings would say like, oh, Noira always goes back to AI. I'm really not escaping the allegations. That is proving to be true. Literally like once a week at least we talk about AI, and I don't know why. I mean, I know it's a very concurrent issue, but we always circle back to it. Why? Idea for VTuber model? What's the story about that? That's a long story. But for now, I think that's a long story. But how about we keep that for a story for another time? Right now, let's talk about something else. Let's talk about life, okay? But before that, let me finish reading everyone else's chat. I have a VTuber, sorry, because I'm a streamer, I can only keep to one topic at a time to keep it streamlined. So I can only entertain a various amount of topics. Because I cannot multitask that well, unfortunately. Yeah, so unfortunately it's a skill issue. I know, that's just how it is. I mean, have you seen me play Supermarket Simulator? Have you seen me how I feel just playing the game and trying to talk and yap? It's humiliating. To be fair, almost all human creative output is based on other work. Not all, but almost all, especially in this post-tech boom era. Very true, but also I think humans have the capabilities to also get inspired from things that are... You see, AI is fed a bunch of data of artworks, right? And then its quote-unquote originality or inspiration is limited to that, the artworks or the data it's fed. Humans have the ability to look have a, I don't know, maybe lose in League of Legends and suddenly get inspired for a certain kind of art. You know, we can find inspiration in a lot of different places because we have lived in experiences, and that's what I think makes it different with AI art. It's like the data is just different, and the way we get inspired is different, and the way that we can integrate what we live through and our experiences is different as to compared to how AI would do it. Damn it! I'm talking about AI again. So you have been surviving summer, okay? Summer? I live in a tropical country. It's always just... You don't even know whether... I don't even know. Like, fucking, do we even have seasons? You know, sometimes in tropical countries, we have, like, monsoon season. We have the drier seasons, but it feels like everything's the same. Like, during the drier season, it still rains like crazy. So, yeah, I've been doing okay. I'm sick, but I'm doing okay. I lost in League. Here's my new sculpture. I call it Hole in Desk. I mean, it can work, right? It can work. To be fair, I mean, have you guys not have had this? Do you guys have? Oh my God, English! Have you guys had an experience before where you had like a totally unrelated experience, but then you observed something intriguing about it, and then you applied it elsewhere? Have you guys had that experience? Like, I think we were just talking about this yesterday too, about how I was watching basically like this game show for comedians. But then, wait, my voice. I'm losing my voice. Hold on. Okay. Where they were talking about comedy in general and how for comedians, I think one of them was saying that I don't understand how some comedians don't just live their life a little bit more. Like, how can you get more material to talk about for your shows and more jokes to write about if you don't go live your life and find experiences to get inspired from, right? And I was thinking about that, and I thought to myself, wait, that also applies for like content creators, right? Wouldn't you guys think that with content creators or with streamers who yap a lot, like me, yours truly, wouldn't you think you'd eventually run out of things if you don't live your life out there and gain experiences so you have more things to talk about and get more things to get inspired from? So yeah, you know, these sort of things. I think humans have this ability to kind of get inspired from totally unrelated things and have unique experiences about them. Like the same thing, the same event can happen for someone. For example, what's an event that can happen? Let's say Valentine's, right? You can have the same day with a similar theme, and maybe there's like this Valentine's event and 100 people come, and all those 100 people all of them have different kinds of experiences. That's what makes humans humans, right? Compared to AI, where everything is a little bit more standardized. I'm getting cooked in 45 degrees Celsius right now. Great. 45 degrees? Wait, are you fucking kidding me? 45 degrees is wild. I always thought your part of the world had two seasons, hot and hotter. No, it's more like hot and wet, which sounds sexy out of context, but it's really not. It's fucking annoying. But it is what it is. I mean, tropical weather, some people love it, some people hate it. I hate that. Wait. Fuck, I need to cough again. I hate that. I live in a tropical country, but I've barely been seeing the sun at all lately. I thrive on photosynthesis, man. You know how like the sea thrives on the sun too? I'm kind of like that. I'm a sea fox, right? So I thrive on photosynthesis. I like the sun. I like getting my vitamin D, but like it's been just fucking cloudy all day and raining heavily. Hi there, Camilla. I use VTubers as my muse and clouds as my poses on certain occasions. That's cute. It's very interesting, like how humans can get inspiration from everywhere. I think, yeah. Yeah, maybe that is what can separate us from AI. Or as the book Sapiens says it, right? What makes humans humans and what has pushed us towards civilization and working together as a human species is the idea of imagination, right? We have an imagination, and that's something that that gives us an edge over maybe other animal species. Because of imagination, we can learn to collaborate. Because of imagination, we can have creativity and all of these things. Because of imagination, we have an idea of culture. You know, everything technically, the basis of it is technically imagination if you think about it, right? And of course, like partially logic. Of course, logic is there somewhere, but like we wouldn't be the advanced humans that we are now if not for imagination. Are you going to be a Ragnarok player again? Maybe yes, maybe no. Depends on my mood. But yeah, depends on my mood. We'll see. Nowadays, I don't like getting locked into a certain game. I like playing what I feel like playing. Have you experienced snow? Yes, I have. Noira is solar powered? Well, go green, am I right? I don't know about being solar powered, sure. More like, I would say, whiskey powered, but you know, solar powered? Sure, I guess, sure. We love the sun. Sweden during winter is not a good fit. My place gets 6.5 hours of daylight during the darkest time of the year. Oh my god, the craziest thing was like when I was in New Zealand for a trip. Like it was summer and the sun set at like 9 p.m. That shit was weird. It was like the weirdest thing. But it was so nice because you could like go out and just do anything and everything. And the daylight feels so long. It was very nice, but also very weird. It was a very weird experience. Hi there, Pro Butcher. How are you? Let me drink some water. Why am I going back to AI again? I don't know. Why am I going back to the topic of AI again? You know, I recently posted this video about... Did you guys see it? Wait, okay, wait. First, before I regale you guys with the details of this video, but like, how many of you guys have seen the video that I posted, like, I don't know what time it was for you guys. Like the most recent long form video that I posted. Any of you guys saw it? Question: if you could bring back one extinct animal, what would it be? The dodo. Because they look so cute and helpless. I think if we brought them back, we'd probably preserve them like we do now for the pandas. I kind of want the dodos back. I need to finish my bottle of Singleton. Oh, jealous! I do want to drink, but I shouldn't right now. So I can buy something different to replace its salt. I literally have 2 additional bottles of whiskeys that's just sitting on my shelf because I have decided to stop drinking for a bit. God damn. I'm the only one who drinks the whiskey, so like that whole whiskey shelf is mine. I do have a question. Has it been difficult to live for 9,000 years and watch the change of humanity? How very cute of you to assume I've lived for 9,000 years. What's stopping you from thinking I've lived longer? Has it been difficult to watch the change in humanity? Well, it's easier when you forget about everything. So thankfully, forgetfulness is both a blessing and a curse, but I would say also a blessing. I am so forgetful to the point that I can get angry at something and then sleep and then totally forget about it the next day. That's how forgetful I am, by the way, guys. And I could literally like do a project maybe 6 months ago, do a project and then totally forget about it today. Because even though I was like fully involved in that project, but that's how I offload my memory, okay? Like how my memory works is like every once in a while, I access the task manager and I just end task and then it's forever. I end task and I clear the cache and then it's just forever gone. So usually before I do that, I store my memory into someone else. So be like, hey, look, I know I've just done this project, but like, I want you to learn about it. That way, if I forget about it, I have a backup, which is someone else. That's what I do. But yeah, I forget, thankfully. So watching the change of humanity, I'm thankful for my forgetfulness. Internet is making us mean video. Yeah, that one. The internet is making us mean. Yeah, that video. So that's oh yeah, 9,000 years. Yeah. See, Cheese knows. Our drunk scribe, our local resident drunk scribe, Ayo, I like Cheese, knows the story. Cheese knows it. Tell him, Cheese. But yeah, don't you guys reckon that the internet is getting meaner? Not because like people have changed, but more so like it's bringing about like a different set of human behaviors. It's like people can act differently. Their offline selves can be quite different from their online selves. It's not that the humans change. It's just that the internet has unlocked something about the human behavior that has given platform to a different set of human behaviors within a single person. It's interesting because like in the comments, we have people commenting and observing how like, okay, sometimes because of the internet, we're more forgiving about certain things. Like as the guy puts it, we're supposed to, there are some people sometimes out there that we should be calling out as morons, but because of the internet, we've become too empathetic and then we don't call them out as morons. That's TLDR how he said it, not my words, okay? Which is true, right? It's valid if you think about it, but also cancel culture is also valid, right? And it's also valid that some people are mean on the internet and have unlocked a certain mean persona on the internet. But it's also valid that some people have learned to be extra kind on the internet. So it's really like the internet really has become a place where it kind of unlocks like a different whole set of personalities within people. It's very interesting. I was thinking about it today on my commute home. Hi there, Ottoman. How are you? I think people are more rude online because there's online anonymity and lack of consequences for being rude. Definitely. But it's also like something that I think can't be avoided because it's not as if the internet is going to be gone anytime soon, right? So it does make me wonder, like, I wonder what are certain things that can be done to kind of, well, first of all, is this a good thing or a bad thing? Or is it something that we should just let go and let happen, you know? Is it something that's actually out of society's control, like how people act on the internet? Is it like to the point where we should stop observing and bitching and just let it go? And then maybe, what's the scientific word when things just balances out? Inertia is like, inertia might take place. Hi there, Dot Hacker. No worries. Thanks for dropping by though. Do you think you've been able to be a part of things important to you, Noira? I feel like a common crisis for people these days is a lack of being attached to something purposeful. Yes, because humans are creatures who are constantly in the pursuit of meaning and a sense of belonging, right? So it's very normal for us to always find meaning to life, or find meaning to what it is you do, finding purpose to it, or finding a sense of attachment to it. Do I feel like I'm part of important things? Not as much as I used to. Back then, I always sought ways to kind of be part of something important because I loved that feeling. But not gonna lie, ever since I got older, it becomes a little bit harder. But I do try to find my own ways in managing it, because that's what it is to kind of adult, right? You have all these feelings and then you just got to learn to manage it and regulate it. So nowadays the meaningful things I do include my work. I kind of have a feeling of meaningfulness from the work that I do, and also of course like content creation, definitely like me talking with you guys here and making the content that I make. That definitely gives me a big sense of meaning and purpose, because I've always wanted to recreate the vibes of like going to a bar and getting a few drinks in, and then you talk to a stranger and then you end up getting into very interesting conversations, and then it leaves an impression to you and it becomes a core memory. I've always wanted to replicate that sort of experience, and now that I feel like I'm able to do that via content creation and streaming, and thus yes, it gives me a sense of meaning, I guess. Other than that, not so much really, no. I don't have like any grandiose goal that I'm going towards right now. But also I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. Do I want to find one? Sure. But also I'm managing and regulating and making sure that I don't lose myself in the process. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. Sorry, let me catch up with chat here. Have a good one, Nix. Thanks for dropping by. It's nice to see TikTok chat going. It's rare. Wait, TikTok chat appears, right? Does it appear? And does it appear on the screen when people on TikTok chat? Wait, I need to cough. Ugh. Oh my god, you can actually see me cough. Let me catch up with chat here. Where did I leave off of chat? I try to remind myself that social media has a tendency to highlight antisocial behavior, which is true because the algorithm, right? Leaving a distorted perspective of reality, true. It's a snake that feeds itself, I think, because real life circumstances have pushed more people into the terminally online world where this distorted reality becomes their reality. Equilibrium, thank you! That's the right word, equilibrium, not inertia. You're right, thank you. But yeah, I agree. So, there was this interesting video that Chris Gesagt put out a while back about social media. Hello, Noira, on TikTok side. Wait, yeah, your chat appears, TikTok chat appears, I'm happy. And I think one of the interesting things they said in that video was that you would think that you have a localized circle, like a bubble of a circle when you're offline, like with the friends that you meet and everything like that. But you actually have a more varied perspective and a more varied selection of people. What are they, products? You have a more varied circle of people when you hang out with friends online and we talk to your neighbors and everything like that. Basically your offline circle is less of an echo chamber compared to your online, because with online it can slowly build an echo chamber. I don't know why I always say echo chamber. An echo chamber. You're more likely to build an echo chamber online because of the algorithm, right? It feeds on your preferences, and thus it matches you with content that's like that you would kind of relate with, and thus you end up like getting similar opinions and like this bubble, an echo chamber of similar opinions online, more likely than you are offline, than you do offline. Does that make sense? So it makes sense how people can accidentally join cults online. You know what I mean? That's what I say. Basically, I'm doing a bad job explaining this, but what the video says is that your offline circle, be it with your friends, neighbors, whatsoever, is more varied than your online circle, which is interesting because you would usually think the opposite, right? You would think that your offline circle, you would only meet like people within your proximity, your physical proximity, and that would result in very similar people. That is technically not true. They might be people of similar cultures, but other than that, nothing else. Meanwhile, online, you might not meet people of the same culture, but you might end up meeting or seeing opinions that are just very similar to yours, thus possibly becoming an echo chamber. Did someone just call me Ate? How dare you? It's oneesan, not Ate. There's also less of a chameleon effect when conversing online versus face to face. less of a chameleon. Oh, that's true. That's a good point. Because I think when we talk to someone face to face, we tend to try to, or we subconsciously sometimes, when we're trying to get on their good side, we try to mimic their body language, that chameleon effect and everything, or we try to mimic certain things, like you're a ditto, but like not that extreme. So that's a fair point. We're not a cult, by the way. If you hear stuff about a cult, that's obviously not true. You're so close to the screen here. I am, because I have no choice. I am forced to be close to the stream on TikTok side. Meaning and purpose plus motivation. What are you guys talking about in chat? What the hell? The offline socials exist, the physical one doesn't. Offline social exists, the physical one doesn't. What do you mean by that? Bold little unicorn, thank you for the lurk. I think a lot of people wake up every day seeing copious hatred and or violence in the morning. It's hard not to be a bitter person in those circumstances. But don't you only mostly see that when you're doom scrolling? If you don't doom scroll, I don't think that the world is generally that doom and gloom. Like, even if you live, okay, maybe if you live in the worst parts of the world, it's more likely. But even in the worst parts of the world, there are like wholesome areas and places to it, you know, wholesome experiences to it. Because I was watching a video recently about, I think, a dangerous place. I can't remember, but like, this place is pretty fucking dangerous, like high crime rates and everything. And even there was like a thriving neighborhood and a thriving community. So you're one person in a population of 8 billion. The RNG that you wake up and it's immediately doom and gloom is rather low, if you want to put it that way. Nyashu, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Deep Blue. But if you're online and you get fed by algorithm on social media platforms and everything like that, you're more likely to encounter all that shitty shit. Not so much when you're offline. Ate is word from Philippines. When we're older than them. Ate means auntie, I believe. And that's obviously not a word to use on me because you use oneesan. Here in the house of the Deep Blue, you use oneesan, okay? I don't know why I have like this tendency to say echo chamber instead of echo chamber. Even I'm confused. I don't know why. Hold on, sorry. Let me cough. Ugh. The only opinion my friends want to hear is their own. Maybe you need new friends. But also, I have seen some people talking about how people don't listen to them or they get ignored. No. I have an opinion about this, okay? The thing is, like, you feel like you get ignored and people don't listen to you. I'm not saying this is your case, by the way, if you relate to this, but this is my observation of when people say they get ignored and stuff like that. Because I've been there too, where I feel like I get ignored, but then after a while, when I matured a little bit, I realized why. So this is generally from my personal observations and experiences. It's because... Okay, wait. So these people who usually, as I observe, if they get ignored or people seem like they don't want to listen to their opinion, usually whatever opinion they have is a little too self-serving, or whatever they're trying to say is a little bit too self-serving. Does that make sense? For example, it can be totally off topic, or it's something that the people around you don't really care about. Which is, of course, it sounds mean, but if you think about it, if, say, your group is talking about Overwatch and then suddenly you talk about Dota and they don't play Dota, like, how is that? What are they even supposed to say? You know? So I think it's more of like being able to read the room a little bit better, because I used to be like that too. And even now, every once in a while, I still do that. But I do catch myself better. I do catch myself better when I do that. But it's very important, I think, when you're within a group of friends to stay on topic and have the ability to read the room a little bit better. How to do that? Now that's a different thing, because for me it was just trial and error. It was a harsh road for me. It was trial and error. And like sometimes I think back then some people would actually even tell me like, hey, don't do that, don't do this, yeah, that. So maybe sometimes when people, I'm not saying it's your fault, but maybe when sometimes you feel ignored and stuff like that, maybe look inwards and think about why. Because obviously, if we put aside ego and everything like that, it could be a you thing, but it also could be a them thing. So you gotta put your ego aside though. It's like, when you play a game of, say, competitive, I don't know, Dota, Overwatch League, whatever the fuck, when you really want to blame other people, but deep down inside you kind of know that you're the one who played shit, you kind of have to be able to put aside your ego for these sort of things and really look inwards, see if it's your fault or not. If it's not, then find a new group of friends. If it is, then you always have a choice for character development, right? I'm sorry, my new chat actually skips a lot, so it takes me a little bit while to kind of scroll up and catch up with the chat. It's self-preservation. Humans are inherently selfish. That is true. Ego is an inherent thing as well. That's why it's very important to be aware of it, and important to kind of learn to be humble. It's a learned thing to be humble. Noira is older than you, but not that old. Noira is older than everyone. What are you talking about? I'm older than everyone, so like that's why everyone should be calling me oneesan. If I ever relapse into doom scrolling, at some point the algorithm sends me Instagram reels of men and women blaming each other for the questionable modern dating crisis, tells me to put my phone away. Oh, yeah. I don't know, for me, when it comes to doom scrolling, past a certain point, like it just becomes boring, or it just becomes like a horrible experience to doom scroll. But the thing is, like, at that point, sometimes you can't stop, which sucks, right? That's how it is. It's like the cyclical loop of, say, being unmotivated to do anything, right? Ceaseless out of the abyss, so that YouTube chat seems broken or something. The messages that show on stream don't show in the chat itself, and vice versa. What? Oh, wait. Okay, wait. I know why. So, you're saying that there are some chats that are appearing on screen that's not in YouTube chat? That's because I have two streams going on. I have a vertical stream and I have a horizontal stream, so I think that's why. Yeah. Shit, what was I saying? Right. When you get into this cycle of, every once in a while you get into this ditch, or at least I do get into this ditch where you don't feel like doing anything at all, and feels like you have no motivation to do anything at all. Like maybe something bad happened, like you had a bad breakup or something, and then all you want to do is just rot in bed. So the thing is, like, the brain is great at perpetuating things, meaning if you have no motivation, then the brain will keep it that way. And literally, like, chemically in your brain, when you have low motivation, it means like you have low dopamine and serotonin levels. So you kind of have to force yourself to kind of gain the serotonin and dopamine levels. You need to force yourself out there to raise the dopamine and serotonin levels to be able to get the motivation, which sucks. Isn't that horrible human design? The fact that, okay, to get myself out of a rut, I need to first get out of the rut. Like, what the fuck? You would think like humans would have a better survival mechanism. Like, if you feel shit, then maybe, I don't know, once every 5 days, though, once every like 24 hours, you'll have like this proc where suddenly you have a little bit of motivation. You would think like humans would have better survival mechanisms like that, like nice procs or buffs every once in a while, but no, none of that. So you literally have to manually lift your spirits up, manually increase your serotonin, and your dopamine levels, which could be from either, for example, you go on a walk or a jog, you go exercise, and you force yourself to go out with friends, these sort of things. You can Google it, look up the ways to increase serotonin and dopamine, and yeah, it sucks. And the same thing happens with doom scrolling. When you're stuck with doom scrolling, it retains your dopamine levels, where it just decays, meaning like it retains your attention, but your dopamine is fucking low. Because I can get into detail for it, but like I won't, because I've already made a video essay about that. But basically, it holds your attention and it keeps you engaged, whilst your dopamine levels are dying, dude. So you keep on having this feeling of wanting to scroll more to kind of replenish that dopamine, but it never happens. So it is scientifically proven, as studies have shown, that it is actually just damn fucking hard to get off a doom scroll because of this particular thing, particularly all that. So yeah, if you have troubles getting off of doom scrolling, don't worry, you're not alone. And that's why sometimes the best solution is to acknowledge that it be like that, and thus just physically put your phone very far away from you. Hold on, let me cough. Oh yeah, I feel I meet more and more people, more and more often, people who hardly read room, because sometimes because they didn't think it through, or they won't. Also, I think, I don't know if this affects people, but like some people I know have like become a little bit less social because of the COVID lockdowns, and they never really got out of the awkward phase. And also maybe they're also just more, wait, I'm getting sniffled now. They're just too much on the internet. Oh, as mean as that sounds, like they don't socialize as much, and thus they don't get to practice as much. At least that's my assumption. Because you'll notice, like, when you go out and you socialize a little bit more, you get to read the room much better because you get the experience and the feedback for it, right? So, different story if you don't get much chances to. But I do wonder, okay, let's entertain this idea. In a world of 8 billion people, where we live in very concentrated clusters of communities and societies and civilization and other humans, don't you think it kind of doesn't make sense that it's harder for us to make friends nowadays? I do. Look, when I see videos of, say, like the 90s, 80s and everything like that, before the age of the internet, it does look like people were like, you know, more chill with each other, and you could just make random friends on the street, right? So it does make me wonder, is the internet and social media really the one that's changing this trend? Like this trend of suddenly as a human, it's hard to make friends, even though you live in the midst of like a city or like an area with a concentrated amount of people. Hi there, Gabriella. What if you share opinion and people tell you you're stupid for having that opinion? I mean, then, like I mentioned, look inwards or have new friends. Or the other option is, upset tugboat, if you kind of have an opinion that can be kind of divisive or be kind of controversial, sometimes it's better to kind of just hold your tongue, because you just can't be fucked dealing with the consequences of it. You know what I mean? For example, a good example was that I was in an Uber a while back. In a taxi, actually. I was in a taxi a while back. And this guy, the taxi driver, was like going on and on about like these crazy ass conspiracy theories and everything like that, you know? And in that situation, I'm like, he's just saying a bunch of bullshit, but also like, I don't want to invest energy in trying to prove him wrong, and plus it's not as if he wants to listen anyway. Like, people will only listen if they want to listen, and sometimes you can tell when people don't want to listen. So I'm not gonna go through the trouble of like trying to debunk everything that he says, so I'll just quietly agree with him. So that's also like part of, I think, navigating society in general, is like also knowing when sometimes you don't have to die in a hill for something, or sometimes it's better to just not say anything. Yeah. because sometimes it's just not worth it, you know? And sometimes it's not worth it, and also sometimes if people just don't want to listen. And what are you going to do when someone decides not to listen? I mean, why bother even trying, right? Same Noira, but usually I just stop out of boredom, then stare into the background for 5 minutes. Yeah, for me, I usually just like throw my phone a bit further away. Also, I was able to join on Twitch even though I'm not a member here. Yeah, wait, YouTube is fine, right? YouTube is fine, right? I mean, when you guys chat on YouTube, it appears on stream, right? This VTuber's uncoded personality makes me feel youthful. Uncoded is crazy. Call it oneesan coded, god damn you. Oneesan coded, not unk. How dare you? How dare you? I thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Deep Blue. Quinn said hello on vertical, relaying for the crew. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Oh, wait, is the vertical chat stuff not appearing? Is that what's happening? Is the vertical chat not appearing? Because it appeared previously. I don't know why it's not appearing right now. You have a member. I have a members only stream? On vertical? You could have told me earlier. Wait. Let me change that. Holy shit. Fuck, dude. Wait, I'm sorry. Oh, that's why. Fuck me. Okay, no. It's public now. God damn it. Yeah, it's public now. Sorry. I changed a few settings on my streaming, so I might have missed it. Hold on. I need to cough. Because usually member streams chats don't appear. Can you try chatting on the vertical side? It should appear now, if you would kindly do so. There we go. Why are there 2 concurrent streams? Oh, because I'm trying to appeal to people on the shorts side of stuff. That's why we have a vertical stream, but apparently I failed because I put it up as a member stream. Which is stupid. I can't believe I didn't vet that. Definitely not wrong. The internet has sort of divided people. I think a big problem is the disappearance of third spaces also having an effect of socializing. Yeah, but would you say that the disappearance of third places, for you guys who don't know what third places are, they're basically like casual places of gathering. For example, if you went to a blockbuster, or you went to, say, like a place to look at vinyl records or finding new music, and then you just serendipitously bump into someone and talk to random strangers. That's what third places are. A random place of gathering for strangers where you can kind of make friends, or not, but at least talk to other strangers. Would you say that the disappearance of third places is also propelled by the internet and social media? Now, I don't know if there's actually a link there, but I do wonder, right? Because I do think like the age of, you know, when third places started disappearing, it was also like the rising age of the internet, right? We do not see people the same because of internet. Connections are different all over, plus we were not overwhelmed by a rain of information. That's also another thing, is it? The age of information is kind of crazy. Nowadays, right? I see, say, for example, political stuff. And I do not discuss political stuff on stream, by the way. But when I see political stuff, sometimes I wonder if I'm seeing all this bad because it's the age of information. And it's actually just been there since forever. But it's because it's the age of information that I'm seeing so much of it now. I do wonder if it's mostly because of that. So it's not that it got worse. It's not that politics got worse or like certain things got worse. It's just more that you get to see more of it nowadays because information is everywhere. How to say, I've always had trouble starting conversations with new people in public unless it's someone behind a counter. That's fair. That's valid. I mean, me too, I guess, to a certain extent. So it's totally understandable. Oh, wait, shit. I lost my TikTok chat. Hold up. wait. Let me get my TikTok chat back. What happened to my TikTok chat? Chat Mateo? Ah, it's gone. Okay, it's back. But yeah, you know, with talking with strangers, I think once you start thinking about it as what's there to fucking lose, or like what's the worst that could happen, I think it gets easier. But also it's one of those things where you kind of just gotta, the more you do it, the easier it'll get, right? It's only awkward because your brain's not used to it. Your brain's like panicking. Oh my god, I have to talk to a stranger. I would say there's a lot of intelligence in shutting the fuck up. Sometimes not everything needs a reply. That is very true. That is a good saying. There's a lot of intelligence in shutting the fuck up is true. Noira, get some tea or something, dear. Your voice is sounding a bit rough. Was it that bad? I have warm water with me. I'll get some honey. I'll chuck some honey in my warm water later when I do a refill of my water. Well, more people to talk to equals more work to maintain. A lot less energy to balance a few friends in a small town versus several friend groups online. Yeah, oh my god. That is so true. I've always thought that I find it very tiring to have a bunch of online friends. Like, I see people being able to do it, and I've kind of always been jealous that people are able to do it. I've never been able to do it. Like, I'm really someone who can't maintain relationships via texts and like digital means. I mean, I try to because I understand that sometimes it's necessary to maintain relationships, but I always it's just something that I have to force out of myself, you know? It's not something I can naturally do. But I try to, like I said, out of respect of people. But yeah, you're right. I think maintaining, as much as how easy it is to connect with people online nowadays and how easy it is to message them and everything like that, I would say maintaining relationships online, does it take more energy? To a certain extent, yeah, I guess. Right? Because with online relationships, I think, or online interactions, you kind of have this, at least I feel like there's this pressure to always reply immediately, right? Or is that just a me thing? I mean, I think the energy needed to maintain offline relationships versus online relationships, it's valid to assume that they're two different things, hey? What if you're just trying to join the conversation? Wait, what context is this? Upset tugboat. If you're trying to join the conversation, just listen in and try to say something that's relevant to it. There was this study done on I think toddlers in kindergarten or something like that, or like preschool or something, where they decided to observe how toddlers kind of are able to be popular or gain popularity amongst this big group of toddlers, right? And they noticed the most popular toddler is the one who would listen whenever they try to join a conversation and always ask permission for something. Like, for example, if they want to play with the toy along with the group, they always they're patient, they listen first, and then they ask for permission, so they don't intrude. So they're very polite about it. So take what you will from that research. You can look it up as well. Next, what's up? Better to remain silent and be thought a fool than to speak and remove all doubt. I'm still catching up with chat. I'm sorry. Chats are merged, but previous comments are lost. Yeah, because the chat won't. The chat can't. Shit, what the fuck am I saying? The chat can't detect the messages if it's members only. I would argue that anonymity of the internet has made people far too comfortable with being an asshole. I agree, and not getting hit in the face for it. Yeah, some people need to get hit. maybe some people need to get like, I don't know, flooded, and one person maybe builds a fucking boat and then chuck some other nice people into the boat, you know what I'm saying? All those internet trolls maybe need to get their area flooded with huge tidal water. I'm not saying that it should be, but I'm saying that someone has done it before. But it is what it is, right? I think as much as we can have all these rants or like all these comments about the internet and how anonymity kind of fucks over internet etiquette or like human kindness, we kind of got to live with it. So if anything, the optimist within me says like, if you become a great example, maybe other people will follow suit. I don't know how true that'll ring, but like to avoid losing sanity, at least let's just say, if you notice this, if you're aware of how anonymity kind of makes people meaner or like makes people behave in such different ways, or the internet makes people behave in such different ways, if you have the awareness for that, I think the least you can do is perhaps make the change within yourself, because everything else is out of your control, right? So yeah, to keep your sanity, do the things that are within your control. If you think people are not kind enough on the internet, then you can start from yourself. Maybe you can be a little bit more kinder on the internet. Start saying thank you a little bit more, or like start shouting people more drinks at the Deep Blue bar. I mean, we do have that feature. Ah, shit, I gotta cough. Hold on. Hi, Beach Cookie. Yes, even I go to a music store or whatnot, it's never about a deep connection or friend zone. I mean, you don't always, when you interact with people, you don't always have to have a deep connection, I feel like. Yeah, I think it's a very romantic thing to kind of think that, okay, you're going to meet new people and you're immediately going to find deep connection and chemistry with people. I think that's not it. I mean, at least with my personal experience, if you're lucky, you're lucky. If you're not, then there's 8 billion other people to experiment with. But I think when you're trying to befriend someone and when you're talking with a stranger, the best way to go about it is to do it without any expectations. That way you're genuine about it. Like, don't be expecting, oh, we're going to be great friends or anything like that. Just be genuine about it. Take it at face value. Consider the moment as a single experience, a single moment. Don't think too much about it. At least that's how I do it. Because these sort of things you can't force, right? Deep connections or like chemistry and everything. If you find it, you find it. If you don't, then it's fine. It's nobody's fault. It's just RNG, isn't it? It's also caused news, push negative news too, because they got more clicks. But truth is, despite ego, people are usually much better when you allow yourself to wander a bit and meet them. That's true. Like, have you guys seen videos of the 90s, 80s and how people used to be on the streets? Like, I was seeing those videos, and in the YouTube comments, I think I saw some people were like, oh yeah, I remember those days. Like, people could randomly like just holler over, I'm a stranger, and people from across the yard at the playground across, or the basketball court across, they're just like, hey, you want to come over for dinner? Like, neighbors used to be much friendlier with each other and all of that. We're definitely missing that. But I think if there was like a version of that nowadays, it'd be quite different. Like, it obviously, with the existence of the internet and social media and the phone, I don't think it would be that like that. I think it'd be a different version of that. What it's gonna look like, I don't know. But I hope eventually we get to that point again where humans are more human with each other, you know? Thin Sack, thank you for the compliment. I'm sorry I'm late with the chat, y'all. Hi there, Nolan. And hello, Farhan. Sorry, I'm going to skip some chat. I think that places enforce being socially capable and are a good way to ease the socially awkward into more normalized social interactions. True. Not going to make anyone an expert or anything, but at least make folks comfortable with talking with two strangers. That's true. It's like a nice newbie spot. That is true. I agree. Demanding immediate replies from a significant other is a big enough issue in Japan that we even have a word for it. Sokuresu? That's crazy! I'm someone who replies within like 24 hours. like working days too. So if you talk to me, so if people text me during the weekends where I'm doing like fuck all except like checking my phone, I usually don't reply until either the next day or like during the weekday. I'm really bad. I try to be better. At least like I reply to urgent stuff. But like if it's stuff that's like unurgent, I treat it like snail mail. Well, not snail mail, I guess emails. It's damn near impossible for me to maintain online relationships if I have never met the person IRL. IRL personality can be drastically different from online interactions. Yeah, that was what we were talking about actually, Thinsack. How like the internet kind of unlocks like a different set of behaviors from humans, right? It's very interesting. And I think part of it is like the anonymity, and also there's probably like a bunch more nuances into it. But like someone could, an IRL could be like timid and actually soft spoken, but online they could be like a fucking troll and everything, you know, the vice versa. And the internet just has been very interesting in, I would say, adding an additional layer to the human behavior. Snooze and Wonder Waffle, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Deep Blue. Noah, get the boat. You really can only control yourself after all. True. My cousin knew a guy who was so laid back, he could be having a business conversation and interrupt to turn around to greet a guy with full, "Ayo, my guy, how's it fucking going?" Peak confidence. That is cute. Those kind of guys are great, right? Like, I was walking with 3D Son, I think it was in Sydney a while back, and this random guy who was just walking beside us, who just like bought takeaway or something, he was like, "Hey, bro, are those like the New Balances? Nice shoes." And 3D Son was like so taken aback that he's like, "Wait, what? He's talking to me?" That he didn't even realize that he was talking to him in the first place. So there are still people out there, you know, the kind of people who just like make conversation out of nothing and just say anything out of genuine, just, I mean, I don't know, candidness. Yeah, and it's nice to see. It's very wholesome to see. And I mean, who are we to say that we can't become that kind of person, right? I do think it's mostly just a repetition sort of thing. Maybe that kind of guy was kind of raised in an environment where that sort of thing is normal, you know, maybe their parents did that and thus it was normal for them, and thus they did it often enough that they just do it. Maybe for us who wasn't raised in that sort of environment or culture, it doesn't mean we can't do it. It just means that it's a little bit harder to do and start because it's not something we're raised with, but it doesn't mean we can't. Technically you can. You can make it a goal. You can do that, right? Practice, right? One good thing with the internet is you can always have some way of getting away from nasty stuff by muting or blocking. Yeah, true. Like, I think back then, when I was my first few years like as a content creator, I would get into like spats with people on YouTube comments. And haters and like stupid commenters on my stream. But since then, I think I've learned to just block and fuck off. So yeah, I just block and mute them and I just forget about them. Wait, I need to cough, sorry. Oh my god. And the coughs, bro. The coughs. Thank you for the hydrate. All this talk about relationships really had me reflect on the last 2 years. The common topics amongst my peers I find rather concerning. Thus, I've remained effectively mute for the past semesters. I mean, don't you want to try meeting new people then? Think about it. Like, there's a lot of people around you. I mean, why not try finding new people, finding new possible friends, right? There are a lot of apps that help with those sort of things nowadays. If you have trouble with it, yeah, you can use apps like such as, I always say this, I'm not even fucking sponsored. I wish I was sponsored. Time Left is an app where you can have dinner with strangers. There are a lot of other apps that are similar to that, I believe. Or if you're in certain communities, you can go to the local hobby shop, for example, and find other people who like playing TCGs, or like, I don't know, there are a lot of ways you can meet new people. If you like martial arts, then go to the local judo, or like the local, I don't know, martial arts place, and maybe you can meet a few new people. Or like recently, I think swing dance, that's one thing I did. I do dance still as well, and I meet people from there too. And I play certain sports, I meet people from there too. There's a bunch of ways to meet new people. It's just that I think sometimes we just get too used to not thinking of it. We just get used to, for example, staying at home and doing our own thing, you know, and we think that we're happy with this sort of life. Maybe we are, but for mayhaps the chance that we are not, I think it's nice to not forget that there are many ways to kind of slowly climb out of that hole that you've dug for yourself, if that makes sense. I mean, I was there too. I think back then I was sick with my circle of friends. I felt like, oh no, not with my circle of friends. I was sick with the city that I stayed at. I hated it. I hate where I stayed. I hated my current state of living. And I was just fucking sad, dude, in general. But one day I was like, you know what? Fuck this. I mean, I'm gonna take charge. I'm not gonna let like whatever happened to me just happen to me. If I want to make new friends, then I'll try making new friends. So this is why I know like these sort of things, like how to meet new people and everything, because I proactively attempted that too, where I figured that if I wanted to make my current situation and state of living a little bit better, then I need to get up and do something about it. So I did. And yeah, I've made a lot of new friends. And even if they're not like crazy deep connections of friends, who cares? I mean, having a great conversation every once in a while, even though we're not like very close friends, it's fine. Having like just like little candid conversations or little laughs here and there, it's fine. I think I value that. I was gonna say I value all human interactions. That's a lie. I hate small talk, but most of the times what I have found is sometimes you can start from small talk and then it goes somewhere. So, you know, it's worth it. Why is my notification not popping up for this? Jason, thank you for being 13 months of titling. I don't know why it's not popping up, but thank you. 13 months of titling. I appreciate it. That's a year and a month. Thank you, Jason. I lived them growing up in 90 and drop by just to pick up your friends and no way to call your parents. You practically go on an adventure. Yeah, that's also another thing, right? Back then, before the days of the internet, it's kind of like you went on quests a lot because you didn't like, you were bored a lot and thus you kind of make yourself go on quests a lot. Like you would knock on your neighbor's fucking door like at random times, see if they're around, or like go to the park or something. That was like, we found so many ways to kind of entertain ourselves, because there wasn't like an efficient way to entertain ourselves back then other than the TV. But even with the TV, it's like, oh, if your show is not on, then what the fuck can you do? So back then we were given more reasons to, I think, find ways to entertain ourselves. And because of that, maybe as people, we were more open to human interactions, perhaps? Perhaps. Let me catch up with chat here. I am so behind on chat. I'm gonna skip some. I'm sorry. Hello, Daryavis. Welcome to the Deep Blue. And also Noah Lord. We were just talking about bring the boat, Noah. New people are a strange species, cautious, wary, but once you spend more time and connecting with them, they become the easiest thing to love. That's true. I mean, new people, I mean, everyone's human, right? And if you think about it, just with the fact that you're human, you can relate so much with other people. There are so many conversation topics you could talk about just from being fucking human, right? For example, a friend I haven't met with, some friends I haven't met with for like a very long time, like 10 years or so. I thought I'd be awkward when I hang out with them, but I just brought up the topic, after some chit chat, I was like, have you ever gone through an existential crisis? Because that's a very human thing, right? Like, have you ever gone through something like that? And it became like a whole different set of conversations. So if you're intimidated by other humans, you shouldn't be. I mean, look at dogs. They just see new dogs and sniff their butts. I mean, you as humans, you can have so many things to talk about, right? We're all humans, so of course there's a baseline of things we can talk about. Even if it's people of different cultures, there are a set of things that I think every human can relate to. Hold on, I need to cough again. Ugh. Sorry, you heard my cough. I'm sorry about that. All right. The depopulation in Japan's rural towns is so bad you can hardly meet anyone worthwhile. I was actually watching a video about that recently, hey? How villages and towns, small towns in Japan is like losing people so much. And it's like getting hard for the people who are living there. Like from previously a population of say several hundreds, they've reduced to like 150 or something, which is crazy to think about. Everything costs money to do now. Well, not everything. If say you call a friend to come over and hang out on your porch, does that really cost anything? There are technically a lot of things that you can do without money, like go hang out with a friend at a park. I mean, that doesn't cost money, right? Yeah. So as much as everything costs now, there's also like a bunch of stuff that we're forgetting that technically doesn't cost. Are you drinking right now? I'm still taking a break from drinking, plus I'm sick, Fahan. So no drinking for a tad bit. Probably not just more open to human interaction, but also more willing to risk negative human interaction. That's fair. That's fair. Maybe I should get more water. More warm water, perhaps. Instructions unclear. Got an HR violation for sniffing human butts. Hello? Nobody told you to sniff human butts? Okay. Wait. I'm a BRB. I'm gonna get some water. Okay? So, be right back. Come have a look at the shrine for a tad. Sorry about that. I'm back. Welcome back to the Deep Blue. Tadaima. Alright. I'm better. I have a top on my warm water. So, as you can see, I also sound better. My voice was like clogging up, man. Welcome back. I'm really concerned about your health. Sometimes I think I hope Noira is okay. I'm very concerned about my health too. Never have I ever in my life got 2 sicknesses back to back. I mean, they're 2 different kinds of sicknesses too, but they're both related to like the upper respiratory. So it's kind of fucked up. But hey, I like I said, I can at least promise you guys that when I'm sick and I stream, I will end stream if necessary. Hold on, I need to change something. I just noticed. Give me a sec. Oh, what the hell? Why is the shrine like that? Hold on. Let me fix that. What the hell? Here we go. Huh, it looks weird. Nah, it's fine. Okay, wait. I need to link my model. Okay, all good. All good. By the way, for you guys who did check out the vertical stream, how did it look? Did it look good? Thank you, thank you. She got up and then got down with the sickness. Yeah, and now I sound like a fucking grandma. Maybe you need an extended break to just do nothing and recover. I'm so bored of doing nothing though. Oh my god, I'm so done. So that's why I was like kind of excited to go back to work and be able to do stuff. Yeah. Stop stealthily emptying the shrine and come back. You don't have proof of that. You can't say things without proof like that. You can't just be spreading accusations like that, man. Yeah, how was the vertical stream? Did you guys manage to check it out? It's on TikTok and also on YouTube. What do you guys think of it? Does it look good? I spent like quite some time propping that up, prepping it up with a vertical stream, and I hope it looks decent. Hello Ori, how are you? Ain't no way Nora's standing still. What do you mean ain't no way I'm standing still? You were off of work for a while after your Japan trip. Yeah, no, I think after my Japan trip I was immediately back to work, but I worked from home for a time, like a few days, and then I went back to work, and then I got sick. And then yeah, I got sick and then I didn't stream again, and then now I'm back for like a few days, and then now I'm sick again. But at least like today, I'm sick, but I can still stream, I can still work and do stuff. And if it gets bad, I can get some ibuprofen. So thankfully there's that. I would like to think I'm getting better. Girly gotta work, man. I can't just not work in this economy. Like today, I was like kind of sick in the morning too. Like I had a fever, but I figured to just tank it with ibuprofen. Because, well, girly gotta work. This sea fox gotta work. Because aren't we all just slaves of capitalism? You gotta make money, right? And if you don't make money, if you don't go to work, you don't make money. So it is what it is. I've been off for too long, unfortunately. So I can't really excuse myself again. Because I was away for a trip, and also I got sick last week, so I can't just say, oh, I'm sick again, you know, so I just went to work. Basilic, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Deep Blue. Gotta pay the bill somehow. Yeah, unfortunately, that's how it is, right? That's how it is. Like for example, like no matter, sometimes when you're faced with like certain health stuff like this, or like you're faced with certain mental stuff, like maybe you're in a rut, or maybe you're one of your cyclical depresso phases. You kind of sometimes just gotta make it work to survive, right? Unfortunately. So that's why I do think like adulting really is mostly about emotional regulation and management. That's really what adulting is. Because you can feel everything and feel anything, but also, you know, like you got certain responsibilities that you gotta get done, and this you gotta manage whatever you feel, whatever you're going through accordingly. Gotta pay the bills somehow. I know what you mean when you say you're tired of doing nothing, but sometimes we need to force ourselves to literally do nothing for a day or two to recover. But I already did! Anyway, I can't over this weekend anyway because my friend is coming over and staying over. So I gotta keep him entertained. So yeah, don't worry, I'm okay. I'm actually someone who very much is very aware of work-life balance. So if it gets really bad, I'll tell you guys. I'm a wage slave too. Literally 11:57 p.m. for me right now, and I'm still fixing mistakes from work. Oh shit! One of those. Yeah, relatable. Can't relate. Currently recharging before grinding through the night to grade tests. But I mean, that's just how it is, right? That's just how adult life is. I mean, on the flip side, at least we get an income so we can do other things we like, right? Such as me making content, me being a VTuber on the internet, an anime girl on the internet, and putting out videos and putting out shorts. So that's why I think it's very important to balance between working and finding out what it is, because getting money is just like a tool, right? Money is just a tool that you can spend to attain other things. So if you just work and get money but you don't really spend it in a way that's fulfilling for you, the balance is tipped, don't you reckon? Yeah, but also time is of course a different factor too, because sometimes you get money and you use all your time to get money, and thus you don't have time to you don't have time to do anything else, which fucking sucks. But for you guys who do have that extra time to do something, don't forget to replenish the other part of your life, which is finding some sense of fulfillment, be it from like hobbies or like hanging out with friends or whatever it is that brings you fulfillment. I mean, it could be like gaming and everything, but however, I have been thinking about this recently because I think I was watching this VOD I had recently about how I said that, okay, TLDR, whilst I was playing Supermarket Simulator, maybe some of you guys remember this, but I said that, okay, real talk, if you think about it, in the grander scheme of things, certain things don't matter in your general life, such as gaming. And I was like thinking, isn't that kind of harsh? It is, but tell me what you guys think about this. So I have this idea that certain things and activities that you do can provide more fulfillment than others. The baseline of it, the baseline of fulfillment that it provides is higher than other stuff because it's more closely tied to what we need as a species. Does that make sense? Yeah, for example, like social interactions or finding like companionship versus say gaming, right? Which is maybe like a solo thing, or maybe you play with games online with people, or like offline interactions and meeting people and talking with them and having fun with them versus doing that online. So I feel like there are certain activities that can provide a higher baseline of fulfillment than others because they're more closely tied to what we need as humans. If you think about Maslow's hierarchy of needs, as disputed as that is, for you guys who don't know what that is, look it up. It's basically like this chart of like, okay, these are the things that humans need. I think down at the very bottom is like physiological needs or something, like hunger for survival, hunger, comfort, having a shelter and everything like that. Up top is a sense of belonging and everything like that. I can't remember the details. At the very top is actually philanthropy, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, if you think about it that way, like the basic human needs, like things that are more related or closely tied to the basic human needs. My hypothesis is that it will give a higher sense of fulfillment. Let me read chat. I yapped a lot. At least I made significant progress. Turns out you can just do things. It's all already there. And I will go full Megumin on it. Yeah. Amazing, right? The things that you could do with free will. I'm on a 2-week vacation myself. 2 weeks! That's nice! My time off resets at the end of the month and I could use some time to rest. What have you been doing for the 2 weeks? Even if you've been doing nothing, I think that's valid too. Have you been resting well, Jarrison? Ideally, your job should bring you fulfillment as well, since most of your time will likely be spent working. Yeah, ideally, right? Ideally. But I do also feel like some people don't have the luxury, privilege, whatever word you want to insert there, of having that choice. Yeah. But of course, like, if you can, that will definitely help with the balance. Consider this: when you finish an activity or game, what is gained when you're done? I mean, entertainment, I guess. But that's the thing. My idea is that these are the things that are not as intrinsically needed by the human species, such as entertainment, I think has more temporary means of fulfillment. For example, if you watch Netflix, if you go see a jester, you go see a comedy show, or maybe comedy shows are different. Maybe the idea of like laughing together with people physically, maybe that's a different thing. But if you maybe have a pet jester, or maybe like if you have a little laugh, if you, these temporary means of entertainment, I think they're just that. They're temporary. They're like buffers compared to, say, if you go hang out with a friend and have a good time, that'll last a little bit longer, right? Sure, you'll get entertainment for the moment, but doesn't the entertainment feel more like, okay, it's something to fill my spare time with, and also maybe I'll get a core memory from it. But also, it's not an intrinsic human need, perhaps? Like social validation from a project? Perhaps, I don't know, it depends on the person. Because we also can't forget that from person to person, although we do have like these core needs as a human species, from person to person, everyone also has different values. So what might result in big fulfillment points for me, for example, might not be exactly the same for you. For example, if me replaying Final Fantasy X is like me living the fucking life, maybe you'll hate that. Victor, super chat, arigato. Thank you for your offering towards the shrine. The deed, food house are things for survival. Yes, they are. That's in Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Thank you. Let me give you a blessing, Victor. A blessing to you, Victor, is that perhaps you'll soon find the courage to span out. Is that the right word? Yes. Span out and attempt to find new friends, or attempt to talk with new people, even if they don't end up being best friends with you. Who cares? But like, I think talking to a new person it's quite progress already. Hey, that's my blessing to you, Victor. Thank you for your offering towards the shrine. Ideally, I think money should be spent on buying your own happiness. In some cases like mine, I like spending money on people I love, and before this I spent a fuckload on video games. Yeah, happiness. But that's also another conundrum, right? A lot of people don't know what brings them happiness. A lot of people don't know what their values are, or like what things matter to them. Like I think media has always kind of given this narrative where, okay, everyone knows what happiness looks like, when in reality, I don't think that's how it is. A lot of people don't know what that looks like. A lot of people don't even know what their values are. You know, a lot of people don't know much about themselves. That's why we have a lot of people assuming that, okay, if I'm ambitious and I become a rich bitch, I'm gonna be happy. That's why we get a lot of people like that. Yeah. You know, Noira, in ancient times, a man needed to hunt and fish for survival. I mean, of course, how else are we supposed to get food? And in like matriarchal cultures as well, sometimes it's the women doing the hunting, or sometimes it's the women also doing the stuff. You know, back then it's a different sort of story, right? Wait, why did we even bring that topic up? Why are we bringing up cavemen and nomadic tendencies? Hello, Nevis. What's good? Does not compute. What's going on? We're just talking about, what were we talking about? About how certain activities that are more closely tied to intrinsic human species needs can provide more fulfillment compared to things that are not. For example, gaming versus learning something new, or gaming versus hanging out with your family, assuming your family are great people. I'm actually started sleeping at night instead of during the day. It's starting to help me feel a bit more human. Oh, definitely. Yeah, sleep cycles and sleep amount can matter so much to the brain, man. Definitely. The book I was reading that's like written by a neuropsychologist was actually saying, oh yeah, you need to sleep 8 hours a day. That way, like, your brain can flush out all the gray matter and kind of clear the cache of your brain, and you will find more energy in the day. And you need to maintain your body in a way where, you know how the body and mind is intrinsically tied to each other? So you need to maintain it in a way that, okay, don't get your body parts depressed so you don't get depressed. You know, if you don't want to get sad, then don't make your body sad. That's sort of logic. Interesting stuff. Apparently 8 hours of sleep is the ideal. I don't know how that's the ideal. I don't think I could sleep for 8 hours. I generally sleep 6, I think. I think that's my average. I don't know how I can get into the habit of sleeping 8 hours again. It's something that gives temporary motivation, I suppose. Makes you feel better about something. Games are also a distraction, but not necessarily in a bad way. Mental hygiene, y'all. Fair. I mean, doing things for survival and things tied to the human need, I think it's great and all, but perhaps, like, as humans, we also need distraction. Like, right, for example, dogs or cats, they also need playtime. They don't just, you know, hunting is probably hella fun for them, but every once in a while, they also need playtime. You know, it's like a sort of way to kind of provide some sort of variety, enrichment, and a little nice distraction and a little escapism, perhaps. So I'm not saying it's bad, but I think it's important to be aware of, like, how activities can affect you as a person. For example, how maybe if you were to put a tier list on, like, the things that you could do, maybe hanging out with people can be at the very top, because humans are social creatures. And when we say social creatures, it means that humans rely on other humans to regulate their emotions and co-regulate emotions. So if you're feeling shit and you meet with people, maybe you won't feel as shit, that sort of thing. And maybe hanging out with other people is up top, and then maybe gaming is somewhere in the middle, where it's good, but it doesn't feel an intrinsic need for something. But it's okay. You know, sometimes we need that. I don't know where doom scrolling falls in that sort of spectrum. But yeah, I hope I'm explaining myself well. I think I'm working at half my brain capacity, because I'm actually starting to feel a little bit feverish right now. But I can last. I only need to last, like, what, another 40-ish minutes. I'll be fine. I know the tiny little PNG creatures in my gacha games happy, and that's fine for me. That's cute. That's cute. I mean, we can all distract ourselves with certain activities, such as maybe playing games and everything like that. Or, wait, hold on. Collecting stamps, perhaps, if that's your thing. Wait, I need to cough. But also, don't forget to fill in the gaps for what you need as a human species. Like, if you need social interactions, then find ways to fill that hole. If you need maybe to learn something new, or there's a nagging feeling of, okay, I need to keep my brain agile, then do something about that. Maybe do hobbies where you can learn something new. Or maybe if you feel like you feel like a bit iffy, then maybe it's your body saying something like, hey, maybe you need to be a little bit more active, you know? Because as much as I want to say, it sounds like shitty advice when someone is feeling shit and you tell them to exercise. Every study points towards that. So by that point, can you really say anything against it? Right? So I think even nowadays for me, whenever I feel shit, or even like, yeah, whenever I feel shit, my first solution is to kind of go on a walk, or even like do squats or like push-ups. Like, these things help. Like, when I feel sleepy, I do that, and I also feel much better. You know, before who won was the strongest, like in Rome, today, who won was the strongest. Today wins the healthiest, not the strongest. Yeah, but how does that relate? Flush out gray matter. It is true, Nivis. When you sleep, your brain flushes out gray matter. I mean, if today, nowadays, who wins is the richest, I mean, it is what it is, right? Is it something that we can control? Remember also to keep your sanity, guys, as much as it is. We live in the age of information, meaning we are fed so much information and we have access to so much information. We can find out about so many things. But also, in order to maintain your sanity, remember to be grounded in the things that you actually have control over. So maybe bother less about like what... It's nice to be aware of what's happening out there, but also don't get too obsessed over it. Worry about yourself more. Things that are under your control, like maybe your choice for character development, or maybe what you're going to eat tomorrow, or what you can eat tomorrow, or maybe, oh, do I have time to maybe experiment on cooking tomorrow? Perhaps, what if I want to make a pancake? What's that like? It's to stay sane in this current world where media and information is everywhere. You gotta learn to stay grounded and remind yourself what's in your control, hey? Maybe being here is filling one of those holes. Oh my god, is it? Is it? Is being here at the deep blue filling one of those holes for you? Wait, that sounds weird. Why does that sound weird and sus when I say it that way? Oh my god. The problem is my hobby is quite expensive. Well, that's a you thing, okay? If your hobby is expensive, then you better find ways to make the money to fulfill that hobby of yours. You know what would make me happy? Just 10 gazillion buckaroonies beside me when I wake up tomorrow. Wouldn't that make anyone happy? That would make everyone's quality of life much easier, right? Yeah. I think the biggest difference between like when I used to earn less versus now is that I'm not someone who spends a lot, by the way. I don't spend on luxuries and everything like that, but like I like increasing my quality of life. I like that. I appreciate that. For example, if I used to use like shitty ass toilet paper, if I had the means to, which I do now, I upgrade my toilet paper. You know, I do these sort of things. If I had like shitty tissues, then I will upgrade the tissue. If I had like basically these little upgrades that are things that you use in your everyday that can increase your quality of life, I love upgrading that. So generally I don't spend much. Like in my day-to-day, my biggest expenditure other than food is like content. But like you guys help me out with that, meaning you guys help me fund it. So thanks to you guys here at the Deep Blue. We managed to post so much shorts and post so much videos, and also still managed to break even. Thank you for not putting me in the red. I appreciate it. So I forgot what I was talking about. I started talking about Deep Blue finances and I forgot whatever else I was talking about. Never wanted a Chanel bag? No, I don't. I find it silly to get a Chanel bag. I mean, I've wanted certain bags, but not for the brand. It's more so like I like the design. Like, yeah, I don't want a Chanel bag. I think it's ridiculous to spend like an absurd amount of money for something, for luxury items. Like luxury cars, like, why? I mean, they look great, but then it doesn't mean I have to have it. It's like, if I see an attractive Satoru Gojo in the distance, it doesn't mean I have to bang them. Is that a bad analogy? You get what I mean? Like, just because I think something is cool doesn't mean I have to have it, you know? I think it's fine just looking at it. Improving your quality of life helps. The easiest way to become miserable is going all in on casino. Don't do that. Don't gamble your life away. Just got a new pillow and some new curtains. Oh yes, pillows are nice. Curtains are nice as well. And sofa. Yeah. I like making little upgrades to my living space. And getting a robot vacuum is one of those upgrades that I want to make, but it's just so fucking expensive. Getting a better vacuum cleaner has helped a lot too. And getting a better mop. Just got a new pillow, new curtains. I'm slowly making my house into a cozy home. Hey, let's go. True, sometimes I spend like 10 times more than I should on water. I mean, every once in a while, we want a taste of Fiji water, right? Fuck. Me too. Every once in a while, I want to buy Fiji water. Not always, but sometimes if I have extra funds, I'm like, maybe I should. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna treat myself to Fiji water. I'm a simple sea fox, okay? I don't look for luxuries. I look for quality of life, QOL. I'm trying to become more self-sufficient instead of relying on others too much. And that's a good way to live life, I think, to be independent, and not just in the means of in financial means, but also like emotionally and physically as well. And if you want to consider the soul, then soulfully as well. I think it's a very important part of being able to live a fulfilling life. Or being able to quote unquote flourish as humans, using Carl Riff's terminology. I think you're cool to think that way. Nah, I don't think it's anything special, honestly. It's just, I don't know. I honestly grew up in a culture where luxury was like a big thing, in a rather materialistic culture. Like the people around me were kind of like that. I didn't like it. I never did. So I don't even think it's something. I mean, I tried to find value in it, but I just couldn't at the end of the day. So it's just something I never liked. So I don't think I'm cool for it. It's just the way that I am, I guess. Ghost, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Deep Blue. The day toilet paper gives better stuff for the price is the day I will buy more expensive toilet paper. That's fair. You can have preferences, right? You have to bag Satoru Gojo. It's a life need according to Maslow, actually. Okay, just at the very bottom of the Maslow's hierarchy, bag Satoru Gojo specifically. Specifically him. Fuck him specifically. Oh my god. Doesn't that mean that every human has to do that then if it's a basic human need? Bag Satoru Gojo? Oh, well, I want a full steampunk outfit for one day. For no, decorating will suffice. Oh, that's nice. A whole steampunk outfit sounds awesome. Hi there, Tyler. You'll drink water from the sink? We can't drink sink water here. We can't drink tap water here. I like tap water. It's sad, but like we can't drink tap water here. My neighbor's cat drinks water from the toilet. From the toilet! Most people view things materialistic, which I try not to. I mean, honestly, I think if someone likes luxury stuff, then who are we to judge, right? I mean, if they make their own money doing that, then sure. I had a friend back then who was like, I don't know why she did what she did, but she would rent luxury items. So, let's just say this was in college, I think. In college, I was like within this community, right? And this community had like a bunch of bougie people. And I think one of them, like, she was kind of like a friend of mine, but like we were kind of more like acquaintances because I didn't really mesh with her with the stuff that we talked about. But like she rents, apparently the rumors go, I don't know if this is gossip or something, but she rents luxury items, and people were kind of like talking about how she rents it so that she can get a rich boyfriend. And I'm like, that's crazy, dude. But like it's rumors, I don't know if it's true or not, but like I have also heard about like how in certain cultures, especially more materialistic cultures, where it does kind of become the norm to kind of rent luxurious items to kind of portray a certain lifestyle in hopes of finding people of similar lifestyles and thus being able to befriend them or even date them. Kind of crazy, isn't it? Food, water, shelter, Gojo. As a kid, I remember I used to tank drinking the tap water here. I don't know how much I came out with issues. how I came out without issues. Are? Jangles, thank you for the sub with Prime. Thank you. Can we get a very warm welcome, please, for our newest titling, Jangles? Thank you, Jangles, and welcome to the Deep Blue. You're an official titling now. And Mistress, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Deep Blue. I used to live in a city where the water gave damage over time. Poison damage! I'm so glad I moved. The tap water here is drinkable since it's from natural spring. Ah, yeah, nah, that sucks. I wouldn't want to do it. I mean, yes, increase your quality of life, guys, if you have the choice to do so. Lucid Emerald, thank you for the sub on YouTube side. Hi there, a samurai. Renting luxury items to find other people who rent luxury items. Yeah, anyway, that's a sort of lifestyle that I didn't get. I mean, it was interesting to observe because I like seeing new perspectives and observing human behavior. I sound like David Attenborough or something. But I do. I find it interesting to see human behavior and see new perspectives and different cultures. So it was like a different culture that I was exposed to. And it's something that I don't like. But I can see why they do it, I guess. Right? Troy Astro, what's up? And you know, another thing that through a podcast that I was listening to, this other thought also came up where I think one of the most interesting things I got out of that podcast, which talked about emotional regulation, is culture. So in that podcast they mentioned about how you could have a certain set of traits, like your personality, how you grew up and everything like that. And then later on realize that, okay, maybe you're the type of person who's positive and then you value certain things. And then sometimes you might end up realizing that where you live is not particularly like the culture that you mesh with, which is interesting, isn't it? So apparently culture matters more than we think. And it's very much related to your emotional regulation. Because let's say if you were born in, what's a fictional world? Gotham. You were born in Gotham, okay? But you're a wholesome piece of Hufflepuff, all right? You're hella wholesome and you don't like the darkness of Gotham and everything like that. You're just a fucking rolling ball of sunshine, okay? But you were born in Gotham. Like, do you see the mismatch there? Do you see how that can affect a person and can kind of like fuck up a person's mental health or life because of the mismatch in culture? Now, if you move this rolling ball of sunshine to, say, Pocopia, maybe they'll have a better life. So it's very interesting. I've never thought about it that way. How maybe you can grow up in a culture, but also end up having a mismatch in culture because you grow up, you end up with a certain set of personality, certain set of traits, personality, and values. And the cumulative of that, the total sum of that might be rather a mismatch to the current culture you are immersed in. You and the titlings improve my quality of life. This place is wonderful. Oh, thank you, Kurt. I try. I mean, I think it's mostly the titlings doing the heavy work. I just yap, dude. But I'm glad you like it here. And thank you, Kurt, for being so wholesome, too. You're also a big part of the reason that the Deep Blue is so wholesome, Kurt. Thank you for the hydrate. Well, let me drink some water. Funny enough, it's not that uncommon for people to rent expensive stuff to try and give others the illusion that they are wealthier than they actually are. I guess. But I do think it's propelled by certain cultures as well. Where certain cultures are, say, more... sorry. They're more collectivist. And people around them use branded stuff or luxury items, and maybe they do that. Or like if it's a more of a materialistic sort of culture, I can imagine that. You can do a David Attenborough style documentary. We'll double as ASMR for the demanding. What do you want me to David Attenborough though? Do you want me to narrate the life of Piplups or something? I don't know. Wait, I need to cough. Hold up. I also need to get some tissues. Hold on. Sorry. All right. I've seen people sell shopping bags from luxury shopping centers for ones who want to show off. What? That's crazy. That's crazy. I'm unfortunately a victim of that. It took me until my 20s to realize I was emotionally stunted due to the unfortunate fate of being Asian. Yeah, but also the other thing is that because we realize now, or at least, well, I realize because of that podcast, that if we know that culture can matter so much to your emotional regulation and how you are on the day-to-day basis as a person, nowadays we do have the option to try out other places. Like you can maybe, I don't know, study Japanese in Japan and do these things. You know, you can have long stays in certain countries and give it a shot. Thankfully, that is a little bit more accessible nowadays, relatively more accessible. So that is an option if you have the means to. I'm pretty sure everyone like that leaves Gotham ASAP. I don't know, maybe the boy is like super optimistic. You never know. Personality traits is definitely more environmental than we're probably willing to admit. True, very true. As the research puts it, it's like 50, or like according to the neuroscientist book or psychologist book that I was reading, it's like 50% nature, like what you're born with, and then 50% nurture, aka you may be born with these 50% of traits of more likely being a certain way. But then everything else is like nurture and experiences and culture and everything around you that forms you. So maybe you can be born as a psychopath, but maybe you were raised in Pocopia. You know what I mean? So the only thing you end up serial killing is maybe rocks and sticks. I don't know. So there's that. The influence of media can conflict with the culture that people live in, where people change their minds. True. But if the media goes against the culture, it'd be harder to kind of assimilate to kind of accept, right? Noisy boy, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Deep Blue. Gotham City for Batman? Yes, I mean, is there any other Gotham City? I just do what I can. All the titlings are great and don't sell yourself short. I mean, it's true. I just yap away. Thank you though, Kurt. Isn't this how wealth gurus grift people? Most of the stuff they show is rented so that they can get rich off naive people. Oh my god, really? Is that what they do? That's crazy. Just going to Pocopia and narrating a piplup doing its thing seems like a great bit. We can do that the next time we play Pocopia, okay? So I'm only 50% goated since the other 50% came from other people. No, you gotta lend yourself more credit. I mean, despite their just, people and experiences being out there for you to grab, you're also the one who's navigating through it. And the way that that whole discussion about consciousness, very interesting, isn't it? How we're all like technically like or like dogs, okay? Let's take dogs again for examples. There are many breeds of dogs. They're the same species but of many breeds. But every dog can be so different from the other and they can have such unique experiences. Same with humans, meaning, for example, if a meteor came onto Earth and destroyed the dinosaurs and we were there, let's say all of us here in chat witnessed that at the same moment. All of us can have different experiences recounting that moment, or like get different takeaways from that singular moment, even though everyone is experiencing the same objective truth. Very interesting, isn't it? That's why which goes into the whole discussion of consciousness and what consciousness is and how we can bring about to explain these unique experiences that humans have in a scientific sort of way, or neuroscientific sort of way. Anyway, sorry, that was like a chat I had with a friend of mine who kind of has been getting interest in these sort of things. It is very interesting. I wonder what is it about the brain or like the physiological makeup of a human that lets them have such varying unique experiences to each other. You can narrate a day in the deep blue. The school of titlings, as in School of Fish, is in distress. One of them has not posted cats in a while. Didn't we vote a while back about like what do we call a group of titlings? A murder of titlings? What do we call a group of tidelings, guys? A flock of tidelings? A school of tidelings? What's a good plural? What's the proper grammatical word for it? What do we call a plural of tidelings? Headline: crazed psychopath has watered every single block in Pocopia. I would like to replace each one with dried blocks again. You know what I mean? So you could be born a psychopath, but if you were born in an environment like Pocopia, maybe you'll just be manually watering all the dried grass. So, something like that. And the lens you use to analyze that sort of experience does color everything a lot. So it's really important to manage and examine your lenses from time. A gaggle of tidelings? Oh, that's cute. A gaggle of tidelings. A daycare of tidelings? That makes you guys sound like my children. A horde of tidelings. For the horde. A tide of tidelings? That sounds a little bit redundant, hey? A boggle of tidelings. A wave of tidelings? A school? I mean, doesn't school only apply to fish? A bubble of tidelings. Bubble is cute. A gaggle. Gaggle sounds like you guys are like always giddy and like laughing and chuckling. Interesting. Bubble is cute. A bubble of tidelings. We'll think about it. And we will, maybe I'll put up a Reddit post and then you guys can vote for it. See what we can call a plural of tidelings. That'd be cute. You don't want to go for something metal? Like, an apocalypse of tidelings. You don't want that? A recklessness of tidelings. A bloodbath of tidelings. You don't want metal terms? What's something else that's metal? A doomsday of tidelings. A cacophony of tidelings. A roll of tidelings, that's so cute. A bucket of tidelings, that's super cute to sell. A bucket of tidelings. You know, the imagery that gives is like you guys are leaking off of like some ceiling. Like you guys just little droplets of water leaking from the ceiling and into a bucket. A swarm, giving a little StarCraft. Storm of tidelings, for some reason that's giving like Heroes of the Storm. A rapture of tidelings. Damn, are you guys that eager to get lifted off of Earth and into the next life? Last Ulrich of tidelings, wow. A doomsday cult, not a cult, not a cult. A flood of tidelings, that's cute. A flood of tidelings, yeah. So then like, if one day I wanna say reset the Earth a little bit, you know, just a little bit, just a tiny bit, you know, and have like a guy build a little ship, not big, and I need someone to do the deed of like the flooding, you know, I can just bring over the tidelings and bring a flood of tidelings, right? Is that what you're saying? I mean, maybe we'll, on the boat, we'll chuck like a few good people and like a few animal species, like the panda, maybe because they're kind of going extinct. So maybe we'll put like a pair of pandas in there. And then maybe also a pair of platypus, right? We gotta preserve the platypus. And I don't know, kangaroos, I'm biased, right? Kangaroos, wombats for sure, quokkas. What else? Maybe some, I would put some capybaras, some red pandas as well. I think I'm kind of biased here. I'm just putting all the cute animals. I'll put the Tasmanian devil in there. Tasmanian devil in there to kind of just balance things out. A droplet lake or ocean of tidelings, depending on the amount. That's cute. A shiver of tidelings. Sounds like you guys are ready for Halloween or something. Like a tidelings just dressing up. Noah to electric boogaloo. When should we start building the ship? I mean, I don't know. I mean, we don't even know when we want to do this little soft reboot, right? Earth 2. So you'll choose 2 tidelings to repopulate the Earth and wipe out the rest of us. You're giving me ideas, Shu. You're giving me ideas. A torrent of tidelings. Torrent is cute. Or like, a whirlpool of tidelings. Do we even need a ship? I didn't even consider you guys. I just considered like the cute animals like red pandas and quokkas. I forgot about the titlings. I was just gonna delegate you guys as the flooders, you know? Like, you guys will be the harbingers. Like, you know how they say, oh, angels will descend upon earth and trumpets, hark, trumpets be trumpeting. And okay, this plague, that plague. Oh no, it's fucking dark. Oh shit, everyone's like getting their bodies like risen up and taken somewhere. You know, that sort of shit. What if you guys be the harbingers? What if you guys bring the flood over and bring the harbinging and harbingers, be the harbingers of the flood, of the new earth. Oh, I sound like a villain now. Harbingers of the new earth. You sure looked like you were considering it. No. Nah, I'm not that mean. I'm not one of those ancient gods who just kind of reset earth for fun. We don't do that. I'm too kind for that shit. I'm too wholesome. I like you guys too much. I wouldn't do that. Tsunami mentioned? No, I don't think tsunami was mentioned. Tsunami of titlings. That's just giving me like a certain idea of a certain EDM song. A maelstrom of titlings. That is badass. Maelstrom. We're the flood and the boat is just the cute animals. You guys are just the flood. Yeah. I'm too socially anxious to harbinge stuff. Well, you don't think you can harbinge stuff. You can't go up to a random human and be like, so yeah, I think the end is coming. What are you gonna do about it? You can be the socially awkward harbinger. So you still reset the world, just not for fun? I mean, I don't know. Who talked about resetting the world? Nobody talked about resetting the world. I'm not gonna do any of that. No, I'm just an anime girl on the internet. I don't have such mystical powers to reset the earth like that. There's too many good people to reset the earth, right? A current of titlings. A current of titlings. Maelstrom was pretty fucking cool. A jet stream. She resets the world whenever the cult grows too large. What cult are you talking about? Obviously, we can't reset for a cult if we don't have a cult. So I don't know what you're talking about. Okay, I need to cough. Yeah. But no, I am not such a chaotic god. I'm not a chaotic evil god. I don't just go around banging other gods and resetting the earth like that and causing natural catastrophes of monumental levels. I don't do that. I'm above all that. You know, I am reformed. I am enlightened. Now I just drink whiskey and talk about life. I don't do any of that anymore. That's like ancient day sort of shit, okay? Well, you know, there is a cult on the Minecraft server and it's all... What do you mean there's a cult on the Minecraft server? Are you talking about the Deep Blue Minecraft server? I think these cult allegations are going to make you lose it one day. I mean, I won't get affected by it if it's not a real thing, right? I won't get affected by allegations if I know the truth that such allegations are just truly untrue. I beg to differ about the cult allegations, because I remember there was several cult activities in the Deep Blue, and it was definitely... Maybe it's a you thing. I don't know what cult activities you're talking about. Maybe it's a you thing. You just look at something and suddenly, he lit a candle. That's cultish. Maybe it's a you thing, Vinny. There's no cult in the Deep Blue. There is no cult at the Deep Blue. Cults are just advanced social clubs anyway. Like what? A fight club? You're going to randomly crash out on stream? No, I am a patient god. I am a generous, patient god, and very merciful and graceful. So that's not my style. That wouldn't happen. And you're going to call some of us out by name? No. I am above all of that. I have risen above all of that. I'm a kind god, okay? I'm a very respectful god. Generous. Have I said generous? A very forgiving god. Yeah. Have I said that? Merciful as well. Have I said that? Yeah, I'm all the good things, so obviously I wouldn't do these things. There's no war in Ba Sing Se. Well, that's Ba Sing Se. There is obviously no cult in the Deep Blue. Didn't you try to imprison a Drifloon not because he actually kidnapped anyone, but because his species was known for kidnapping? If you put it that way. Fuck me. To be fair, you guys are partially at fault. You guys told me that, okay, the Pokedex said that Drifloons kidnap people. And I was just trying to deliver justice, right, for this Drifloon. You guys told me the Pokedex said that. So is it really my fault if you guys told me the Pokedex said that? Or is it the Pokedex's fault? Or is it you guys? You guys influenced me into that decision. The B in Noira stands for benevolent. Yeah, the B is in there somewhere. It's silent. Benoira. Benevolent. I am very benevolent. Thank you very much. Not just the Pokedex. Most Pokedex entries say that. Yeah, so exactly. So if multiple Pokedex entries say it, then wouldn't you say it's justice being delivered instead? Rather than me just acting preemptively? Right? Anyway, guys, I know we have like 15 more minutes, but I think I am actually fevering. I think I need to sleep. So I'm sorry, I'm gonna end like 15 minutes earlier. Oh, let me drink some water. Yeah, I can feel it. I can feel it in my bones. I can feel the fever is fevering. So I'll rest up before I actually have to rest by taking ibuprofen. But anyway, guys, thank you for dropping by the Deep Blue. I hope you enjoyed your time here. If you're new here, let me introduce myself. I am Noira, the Sea Fox oneesan who serves live talks on the rocks. And I'm obviously a very generous, merciful, benevolent god too on the side. So I hope you guys enjoyed the stream and had a good time here. And if you're new here, I hope you enjoyed the vibes here. Like I mentioned, what I try to replicate here is like going to a bar, drinking, and talking with strangers and having good conversations. And I hope I have delivered that. If you guys like the stream, I'd appreciate it if you drop a follow if you're on Twitch, or subscribe if you're on YouTube, or a follow if you're on TikTok. Mysterious Emblem, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Deep Blue. And if you haven't already, come join us on the Discord. The link is there on the stream, bottom left, or up top if you're watching the vertical stream. Come join us on Discord, where you can hang with the other titlings and also check out the milestones of the Deep Blue, like how far we've come and the growth that we have and everything like that, which I update monthly. And also you get to hang out with the other titlings and also get updates about me for when I upload and everything like that. So if that sounds like your kind of thing and you want to get updates and notifications about me, come join the Discord at discord.gg/Noira. Yeah, and you can also shout people drinks, aka buy people drinks, in the Discord. So yeah, come over. Oh wait, I need to cough. And I stream every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, but I'm not streaming tomorrow because I have someone over. But I stream every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, same time, same days, every week. That's at 3 or 4 p.m. if you're in the EU, 6 or 9 a.m. if you're in the US, and at 10 p.m. GMT +8 if you're in Southeast Asia. And I hope I get to catch you guys again next time, hey? And also, if you want to find out more about me, you can at my website at noira.me. And I was very excited to stream today because I get to try out the new vertical layout for TikTok and YouTube. And I hope for you guys who found me via there, you guys like the layout. Yeah, so I'll get better before next week, okay? Hopefully. Hopefully now that I'm resting earlier, I can get better faster as well. Now, let's see. Who do we rate today? God damn. Also, if you miss me midway along the week and you're like, oh, I could use some Noira right now, you can find all my VODs and all my videos. I do upload videos on YouTube. So, sorry, I'm just checking. Did the chat appear on YouTube side? I don't know if it did. Yeah, sorry if like some of the chat I didn't respond to for you guys who came over via vertical. I'm sorry about that. That wasn't meant to happen. What was I saying? I forgot what I was saying. What was I saying, chat? Oh, yeah, if you miss me, find me on YouTube at youtube.com/Noira. I upload videos and shorts a lot. So if you want to hear me yap, and my video essays, you can do that. Now let me find someone to raid. Oh, my fever is fevering. I really need to rest. Let's raid into Sen, who's playing Persona. Let's do that. Let's raid into Sen. Mateo. Sen VT. I'm only raiding on Twitch side, so if you guys want to join, you guys have to come over on Twitch. But yeah, YouTube people, Twitch people, TikTok people, I hope you enjoyed your time here at the Deep Blue. And I hope I get to see you guys again next time, perhaps, or even on the Discord server, hey? Thank you for deciding to spend your time here at the Deep Blue. And I'll catch you guys next time. And also, wait, I forgot. Thank you for everyone who dropped an offering at the shrine. I really do appreciate it. It means a lot. Thank you. All right, now I'm going to send you guys off. Thank you. It means a lot because everything is going towards editing funds. I'll catch you guys next time, okay? See you on the flip side. Sayonara. Bye-bye.